everyone. Welcome to the Fan Cams, the penultimate Fan Cams. Gonna miss this once the season's over. Will you? Dunno. Maybe not. Hope you're doing well. It was a respectable 36-point loss, I'm not going to lie, and at the risk of upsetting the accepting mediocrity university members. Obviously not happy and content with a loss. However, once again, where the expectations of what we were going to get were to what we got, well, that bridge was a little bit closer, and I am grateful for that. So, I don't know. I watched that and I thought, I don't think a coach is going to be unhappy with what he's got to play with, is what I watched that. So many good signs from so many of the young guys and some of our more experienced guys, a handful of them who I think definitely deserve to be on the list next year, and some who I'll be happy to say farewell to. How is everyone doing? I hope you're all doing well. It's Sunday night. I know the week starts tomorrow, but we'll have a little bit of fun and get into it. Oh, look who it is, a tush. Carlton are playing finals. Congrats. I mean, I don't know how you did it, but well done on your new coach as well, Josh Fraser. It can't not be official now. Like, that's ridiculous. They got to appoint him. How's everyone else doing? Vicky, good to see you. Also, the VFL, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the VFL. VFL, so we're playing finals too. Hello. What is this? I can't believe we are playing finals. That's great. From 15th last year to 5th this year. Terrific. Chris, how you doing? And Troy. Hello, Carolyn. Desperately need a small coming forward from the draft. Yep. I think it would have been nice to see Huss out there today, because our forward half game was pretty good when we had it down there. We were able to keep it down there. Some good ground ball work. We just couldn't convert and put that good work on the scoreboard in any capacity, which we're going to have to be much better at, or find ways to be better at, because that's just taxing. That's like running on a treadmill backwards and just, getting no reward for it at all. Yeah, some good forward craft. They were doing it so easy, and you watch really capable teams and they fly down the ground and then enter their forward 50 with such ease. So much space and room to move for their forwards. So I want that for our forwards, because they're doing it tough. They're working damn hard for their goals. Really hard. Yes, Caroline, congrats to Vigo. How was the Vigo dog? Got his first goal and had himself a game. Imagine run down tackling Tom Papley when you are a baby giraffe. Imagine doing that. Bless. What a game. And then who was the second one on? People were high-fiving around us after the second goal. I tell you what, there was a vibe. Nobody was, when we started to get a run on and there was a what if, maybe, I know that was a little bit ambitious. We weren't going to win the game, but people around us were feeling the vibes, were feeling the excitement and the joy. And there wasn't many of us there today, but I'm telling you, it was noisy enough. It was. And nobody was thinking about percentage and, first round picks, because when you feel the win potentially there just on the precipice, you just forget all that and you remember that winning is everything. And honestly, yeah, absolutely, Troy. 36 points, second on the ladder to a team second on the ladder in the premiership window. Yep. Hello, Luke. Vigo is the future. Apart from that, zero positives. Okay. Swans made them look, trying a few things. Okay. See things a little bit differently. But, yeah, I think most of those players you listed there, outside of Kondo, I thought Kondo showed some good things tonight, some really good. Kondo and Unwin both did. I think how I judge this game is, I think, how much good versus how much bad for some of them. Like, I think Redmond did more good than he did bad. I think Kondo did more good than he did bad. Unwin did more good than he did bad. Perkins, probably more bad than good. Jones probably more bad than good. So, yeah. Yeah, there we go. U890. U890. Oh, okay. I thought he was good. Yeah, really good. Held some tackles, which was good. DeLuca, that last 50-metre penalty was bullshit. Yeah, I agree. Really. Tom Edwards. Yeah, you nailed it, Tommy. And great game in the VFL on the weekend. Absolutely. Your third quarter, chef's kiss. Setter's easily best on for us. What a game he had. What a game against quality opponent. The two-way running at this stage of the competition too, yeah. He's the mid. He's the mid that you want the other mids, the baby mids, learning off. Period. GS1, my hubby said Vigo is now his man, played well and kicked his first goal. Yeah. Oh, I think a few people will be claiming the big Vigs. Yeah. You see the future there, right? You see the future. Moby sees the future. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends, Melburnians and countrymen, we have found our next ruckman. Interesting where this leaves Brian. What's all your opinions about where this leaves Brian, everyone? Let's get Jonathan's view on where this leaves Brian. Hello, Jonathan.
Hello. I don't think you can afford to carry just one ruckman these days.
Well, one kind of traditional ruckman. A lot of some teams are going with two rucks, but most teams are going with one ruck and then chop out forwards.
Yeah, I think you need that mobile sort of jumping ruck that can move around and take that sort of ruck rover, the one who can pick up possessions around the midfield and rest forward, that kind of thing. I'm not a strategy expert though, so you might be.
Yeah, I don't know, because I think when Archie May comes back, and I think Archie May's the key here, the one thing that stood out for me is the marks. Now, granted, the delivery inside 50 to Sydney by their mids and half forwards was sublime. So for their forwards to take marks, very, very easy compared to what we make our forwards do. So, but the ability to hold and take marks has been the difference for a couple of weeks now. So when Archie May comes back, I think that helps. I just don't know if you can carry Archie May, 2 metre Peter, Brian, and Vigo.
I always like the idea of having a tall wingman as well, that link-up player. So rather than relying on the ruckman, kind of that how Melbourne will put Max Gawn into the hole to drop in to take a mark as they transition out. I kind of like the idea of having that tall wingman to take that transition mark. But obviously it hasn't worked for us having Jones. Yeah.
Jones, we tried Cox. I think Cox was the one that they would have liked to come along there.
Yeah, Cox. And I think that wing and small forward are the positions that are just really hard to get right these days.
Yeah, because you know what's the common denominator for both positions? Work rate. And sometimes unrewarded work rate. So takes some special kind of,
It takes special people, and that's why Tipper was just a generational player. Like, we forget that we just had we had a really special small forward when we had Tipper, and it's just so hard to find people in that position.
It is, and it, dare I say, it takes a good coach to actually inspire that work rate and some of it, because you know what, I think most of them are capable, particularly if they're known and drafted in that position. We maybe need to draft some players a bit more specifically for those positions instead of trying to turn, players into traditional wingers.
Yes, and I think that's what makes Nick Watson just such an incredible player. And I think that people talk, like, for instance, people sometimes criticise Unwin. He's not that big, but Chad Warner's not that big either. Zach Butters isn't that big either. And they stick through pretty hard tackles and they slog it out with the biggest guys in the league. Cozzy Pickett's like barrel chested, but he's not, really, really big. Yeah. Fiona, you said that this was the penultimate, but I have a feeling like that we might be hanging around for fan cams for a few more weeks with the VFL. So this could turn into another 5 weeks of fan cams.
Yeah, maybe we should do some VFL finals fan cams. We'll
Yeah.
see how we go. I've kind of got my heart set on going to the games, and when they win these games, predictably, when they win these games, I've kind of got my heart set of just like staying at the ground and not having to rush and speed my way home to get home for this. But we'll see how we go. If you guys want it badly enough,
Do you think we should rest? Should we rest some AFL players for the VFL finals?
Good question. My head and heart are saying two separate things. My heart is saying no, because I know the priority is for the senior players to get experience and to give them finals experience. But if you are like me and you've watched and been to, a lot of VFL games and watched every VFL game this year, you will know that there are a solid handful of VFL players who deserve to play in the finals. So I don't know that we should rest too many. What do you think?
I don't think. Look, I think no AFL coach would ever sacrifice someone playing in the senior team for the VFL. But I'll tell you what, I think that when we talk about players like Elijah Sardis, there's surely so much more value for that guy to be playing in a VFL finals campaign, winning games, being the main man. Like this is a guy who he's got talent. I don't think he's sort of like probably an AFL footballer, but I don't think that. Did I just? Am I still here?
You'll come back. You're kind of frozen, but we can still hear you. Can you hear me?
I've got you back. Is it me or you?
Could be me. I haven't frozen in my own, but it could be me.
Okay. So,
Continue.
So I actually think for Elijah Sardis, for instance, there's so much more benefit for him being the main man in a VFL finals team than coming into the AFL, being the fifth best midfielder. It's just for mental and like personal development and his gameplay. It's got to be so much better for him.
It's a great point. I think it's a solid point, Jonathan, and I think he deserves it. He is a big reason why the VFL got to where they have got to. So he really deserves it. And you know what? I think if they asked him, which team do you want to play in right now? I'm pretty sure I know the answer to that question.
Exactly. Carlton, I was watching them and I actually switched off a little bit in the second quarter to watch the Carlton game.
Did you?
I switched off a bit in the second quarter to watch the end of the Carlton game because I could see that it was close and I wanted to see what happened. So, for all the Carlton lurkers in the channel, they'll be pretty happy tonight.
Yep. Yes, our Carlton friends. It's a shame that I've met so many incredible Carlton people on this journey because I can't be too hating on them because they are. It's been unbelievable, really. If you told me it happened and I didn't see it for my own eyes, I wouldn't believe you because it needs a Royal Commission investigation.
I think that there was how they've done it. Yeah, there was one Sydney team within the last 10 years that I think lost the first 6 or 7 matches of the season, and then they ended up playing finals. But it hasn't really. This is a pretty crazy turnaround.
Well, in a way, it's good. It should give other teams, it should give us, hope that it can turn quickly, not exactly carbon copy. And let also this be, if you allow me, I'm going to be a little self-indulgent for 1 second. Do you mind if I just steal your time for 1 second?
No, it's you as well, Fiona. It's your show.
Okay. Well, it's you right now, but I'll give you an extra 5 minutes. So remember when that guy put the training footage out of Carlton turning the ball over and it went mega viral?
Pre-season.
And the kicks, the cooks were going from pre-season. The kicks were going out on the full. Patrick Cripps missed 2 easy kicks. Carlton fans losing their mind. The media picked it up. Let that just be an example for when you feel the need to yell at me when I'm putting out all the pre-season footage showing you highlights. Let that be just a reminder, okay? Just saying.
Reminder of what, though?
Reminder that it doesn't just, like, if you'd watch that, can you believe that Carlton, what they're doing now? Are they missing kicks like that, even though that's what they did in the preseason? So it's not necessarily a mirror of what is going to happen in season.
That's right. And didn't we go through a period for a few weeks where our skills were just so bad? And it was like, hey, I've seen that guy do really good kicks before. I know that guy can kick, but something's happened and it's mental, right? It's a mental thing.
Exactly.
Now I wanted to just quickly talk about, sorry, I'm
I was just going to say
I'm on a
exactly the
satellite
opposite.
delay here, I think.
That's all right. The opposite can actually occur. So when I'm showing you that they're making kicks, and they do, it's not me making it up. The opposite can happen in season. Okay, done. Go.
I wanted to actually touch on the mental thing because I think that you've put out a video on the members section midweek, which was really interesting. And the Sydney team is a team that I think, like, there's this culture that we talk about, the Bloods. People talk about sort of ethereal things like the Shinboner spirit and the Bloods culture and that. But when you watch Sydney and you see the players that come into their system and the way they develop, it's not just the players and it's not just the organisation, but it's the way that the two feed into each other that somehow creates something, right? So I was thinking, I was making some notes as I was watching the game, and I was just off the top of my head thinking of some Sydney players over the journey. Like, I think that this Bloods culture, although it goes back to South Melbourne, I think that for what we're looking at, it started in the 90s. Paul Kelly, Mick O'Loughlin, Adam Goods. Then you had players like Jared McVeigh, Ryan O'Keefe, Josh Kennedy. And then you've got, I would say, they've got a little bit more Hollywood these days, but there's still those sort of gutsy players like Callum Mills. And there's got to be something there of the way that the organisational's culture, the players coming in who are talented, but the two go together, right? It's not just talent and it's not just culture.
Yep. Yeah, I completely agree.
I think that Archie Roberts and Dyson Sharp, for me, are the two players that seem to embody leadership, grit, and that kind of tenacity that we want to see and we want to develop that we haven't had a lot of. What do you think? Are there any other players that you feel like embody that mental ferocity that we need?
Yeah, I think there's still some with question marks, and that's potentially they're still going to come out of their shells a bit. But I think certainly Caddy embodies that spirit. Kondo's got a bit of fire in him too. I think he's going to come out of his shell a little bit more. But he certainly has a fire if he gets pushed. He's not going to be pushed around on the field. Angus Clark is another who definitely. Yeah, we've got a few. Clarky, and now, as I said in that video, it's now I think we need to prioritise actually actively going after players who embody that kind of thing. Whereas, a set culture like a Sydney can afford to bring in a Tom Papley personality because they set the law down from day one. The standards, the tolerance is set from day one. You can be a dickhead out on the field. You can rival up the opposition. You can act like an absolute turkey out there. But within the four walls, there is a certain standard and there is a certain set of behaviours that is accepted. So
now I'm gonna put something down here, and you go to more of the live games than what I do. I don't go to a lot of the actual matches live. Tell me, do you think that our captain has the on-field performance as a leader going forward? How many more years do you want to see Andy be the captain before someone else steps up? Because in my opinion, from what I see on the TV, I know that maybe behind the scenes in the club room, that's like a completely different thing that I see. But what I see on the field from a kind of like on-field performance, I'm wondering whether he's the right captain for us. Like, do you know where I'm getting at there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. First of all, I just want to say Andy McGrath had a terrific bloody day today. Papley wanted absolutely no bar of the work that Andy was putting into him. And the first mark he took was a free kick. Well, the first kick, I think it was, or second kick, he had to flop to get it, and Andy was pissed off. He doesn't usually bite at the umpires, but he turned and had a word to the umpire. He claimed Papley did absolutely sweet F all and he had a great day. He was really trying to create out of the back line, and he was coming up the ground and be really proactive, and Papley just didn't want to defend or go with him and didn't kick a score. Granted, there wasn't much ground ball work happening in the forward 50 for the Swans. It was all in the air mostly, but he had a great game. I will say, yeah, I concur. I think he's a great captain off the field. Is he a super animated captain on the field? No, that's not really his nature. In saying that, he will get to a scrummage and will, protect one of the younger players when a player misses a kick or a handball or concedes a goal. He'll be the first to tap to get over
supportive.
and say, "Don't worry."
Yeah, he's very supportive.
Yeah. Is there fire coming out of his ears on field? Probably not. He's not of that temperament. I think Martin embodies more of that than me, but certainly off the field, he does a really good job.
What about, just throwing a name out here, what about Mason Redman being the captain, Andy McGrath vice captain? Would that work better?
I think at this point, it's an option, but I think at this point, I would not be surprised if next year Andy McGrath's the captain and Nick Martin is vice captain.
Vice captain, okay.
Or even what Andrew suggests, co-captains, whether that's Andy McGrath and Nick Martin or Andy McGrath and Mason Redman. I think Nick Martin, because that's the future. And then naturally, Dyson Sharp will eventually make his way into the leadership group and then into vice captain, and then as captain eventually, I think. So, yeah.
It's actually happened that clubs in the past have brought a outside player in, for instance, like let's say a Braden Fiorini, but maybe someone with a higher profile, and then that guy becomes the captain. So let's say exactly. So I just, where we need someone, I think co-captains, in my opinion, we need more presence on the field in terms of impact and leadership. That I don't know if Andy is a impactful enough player that, it's for me, I'm wanted at least a co-captain next year.
That's fair enough. I also think that it shouldn't just be up to the leader to be that animated and brute energy. I think I want a team, and I said it in that video, I think, or a couple of weeks ago, I want a team where I can't even discern who the official leaders are, who the anointed ones are. I want the whole group to display such strong leadership qualities and feel empowered to display those qualities on the field that I would have to question who the official leaders are. That's what I hope.
Yep, that's right. You want that culture through the whole team, through every line. So and I think that if you have the right captains, but you kind of we've lost that aura of having that on-field leader. That's what we don't have anymore, So like even when Matty Lloyd wasn't the captain, you had that on-field leader in the forward line. You had, I don't know whether enforce is the right word, but we don't seem to have that at the moment. And, there'll be spot fires and things, but I feel like when we talk about who we're going to draft, and when we spoke last year about, I think West Coast on their rankings, they had Dyson Sharp pretty high. I think they had him after Zane Dersmer as their second or third option. And I think that it was that intangible leadership, which we can see that aura in him. That's something that clubs look for. And I think that's so important for us to get those guys into our squad. I wanted to actually talk to you about something else that I've heard you ask this question a few times. You've said, you look at the stat sheet and you go, I thought that guy had more tackles than that, right? So you've looked at some player and it's he's only had one tackle. Why is that? So I think that I can explain to you what counts as a tackle on the stat sheet.
Okay, hit me.
So a tackle only counts as a tackle if the player getting tackled incorrectly disposes of the ball or it leads to a ball up. So if you tackle a player and he manages to squeeze off a little hand pass that goes into grass or it even goes to another player, that doesn't count as a tackle. And that's, I think, the main confusion where tackles are not counted, because you can totally disrupt a player. you can literally wrap them up, you can spin them 180 degrees, and they can just squeeze off the tiniest correct disposal that doesn't even go anywhere and leads to a turnover, but that won't be counted as a tackle. And that's, I think, the thing that confuses us sometimes when we're looking at the stat sheet.
Yeah, that's stupid. The part where even if it leads to a turnover, it's not considered a tackle. That's just dumb, because that's the whole point of a tackle, is to turn it over. In my eyes,
yeah,
anyway.
And that's why someone like a Matt Rowell will get really high tackle stats, because he's right in where the ball up is. So if someone gets the ball and Matt Rowell sits on top of them and then it leads to another ball up, that's a successful tackle, even if it didn't change the nature of the play.
Okay, well, I can't promise that I'm not going to continue to get annoyed at that, but thank you for the explanation and clarification.
That makes sense now, yeah?
Yeah, 100% makes sense. I just, why we complicate things is beyond me. But anyway, I imagine it's been like that for its inception, since the inception. Is that, like, can anybody in the chat answer me that question?
I think that, I don't know. I think that there was a point, there's a kind of like a point in the 90s when they started recording these stats. So there was a point maybe in the 90s where they started recording tackles and recording these particular stats, and then they defined it in a certain way. I don't know if the definition's changed over the years, but that's what actually counts now as a tackle. I wanted to actually ask you something else with I don't know if you know this about this situation with our sponsors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do we have sponsors for next year?
Not one that's going to replace Dutton at this point. Not publicly, one that's going to replace Dutton at this point. But I'm sure conversations and meetings are being had.
I wonder if we need to do a better job with our sponsors, because I don't even know what a Airwallex is.
Am I going to sound naive, even though I'm a business owner, when I say I don't care about sponsors? I don't really care. Like, it doesn't bother me. Like, it doesn't inspire me to buy from these companies. I don't know if anybody else feels differently. And are you motivated to buy from the companies that sponsor Essendon?
I think that's the point. I think that's the point of why these companies want to put millions of dollars into the organization, the sporting club, because they want the fans to think like, oh, I'm gonna get an Airwallex because they're on the Essendon jumper, but I don't even know what an Airwallex is. Like, I think we need to do a better job of promoting our sponsors. And to be honest, I know Dutton has something to do with cars, but I don't know, what do they do? Do they sell cars? Are they like a car hire company? Do you know what they do?
They're like, aren't they? I'm pretty sure they're like vintage, high-end vintage cars. I could be so wrong because I know nothing about cars, but this is what I mean. Yeah. I don't even take notice of the sponsors because it doesn't change. I look for quality in what I buy and price, and then I compare based on that. And then I read reviews. I read all the reviews. I match reviews, and then I buy. I don't think, as much as I love Essendon and support, I mean, look at what I'm doing. It doesn't change my love for the club, but I'm just not like swayed by sponsorship. It means I know prestige cars. There we go. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think we need to do a better job of Airwallex.
Dylan says Airwallex also sponsor the McLaren F1 team. There we go.
But
it's a corporate financial group.
Oh. Okay.
We're getting some schooling here. Airwallex is an investment company.
I thought it was something to do with like wallets.
Yeah, no. I knew it wasn't that. We have about 50 minor sponsors. We do. We absolutely have minor sponsors. Yeah. Couple of major ones and then a few minor ones. But even with the minor ones, again, it's not something, and this could just be purely how I'm wired. It's just not how I go out and consume and purchase things.
I can tell you for sure, though, the companies that are putting their money into this sporting club, they want the fans to think about the brands, and they want us to go out, and when you're shopping for a new wallet, you want to go to Airwallex, even though they don't sell wallets.
Like put it this way, if it was a bistro, a new bistro that sponsored in the area, I'd be okay, because I'm a bit of a foodie, piques my interest. I'm always trying new restaurants and new cafes. I'd be like, okay, I heard about this new place because they sponsor my football club. That's how I've come to know this place. I'm going to make it a point to actually go there. But in terms of, consumer behaviors, I could be alone here. I really could be alone in how I go about it. But,
maybe
we'll see who comes on next.
I think that, we'll see. Hopefully it'll be something that we know what they do next time. I've got something else just to leave you with, Fiona. But by the way, it's been, as we sort of come to the end of the season, it actually has traveled really fast. And I think that you've played a big part in that because you've given us that something to sort of bounce off and look forward to. And there was a lot of games towards the last couple of months that I didn't catch much of, but I still always caught up with your takes and Scotty and Felix, and it just makes the season a lot more fun having this community of commentators, of fan voices. So congratulations again on a fantastic show and a fantastic year.
Thank you, Jonathan. That means a lot, and that's kind of the point. It's been a shitty year, but if there's been a little bit of light via this community and a little bit of fun, because we haven't had much fun and joy, I'll take that win, and I'll absolutely take the compliment and it's not about me, it's about the community that has come on board. So, and thank you to you for being a part of it, because you and I did a great show for the members on some of the history, didn't we? Some of the history of drafting, and I think a lot of what we discussed in that video is actually coming to fruition just watching the Kangaroos on the weekend and a few other teams.
There was one thing that I actually didn't show you in that video, which is I came up with a really convoluted formula on my spreadsheet of the team that I thought was going to outperform this year. And guess what that team was?
Who? Carlton?
Freo.
Oh,
no.
Okay.
Freo. So I can't take that credit because no one will believe me if I actually have that. I came up with a really complicated formula, and Freo was like way ahead on that formula. So I'll just pat myself on the back for that. But
no, I believe you because I've seen your workings, and I'm happy to give you more than enough credit because you've got something with numbers that I don't have. So and spreadsheets and it's impressive. So well done.
I actually wanted to just leave you then with the idea that when we spoke, I put forward my theory that you need half a dozen AFL All-Australian quality players in the list to start building towards being regularly competitive in finals. So at the time, I think we pointed out a few players, but how many players do you reckon next year could potentially be at All-Australian level now for Essendon? Do you reckon we've got maybe 2 or 3?
For next year to become All-Australians?
Yep.
I'm not going to answer that question because I'm going to get so yelled at for accepting mediocrity and for overestimating these players. So I don't think any. Maybe one. Nick Martin. Nick Martin.
Archie Roberts, by the way, for the first half dozen games, was on track to be like an All-Australian conversation player.
Yeah, his stats, were lining up. Yep, they were. Poor guy, so I reckon playing sore.
We keep plugging away, get some more quality picks, and then I reckon within, let's say, 3-ish years, I think we will be potentially on track.
Yeah. Yep. Hopefully, we need a coach first. I think let's hope that answer is coming this week. Anyway, before I let you go, who do you want to become coach?
I definitely want to banish all the ghosts of Kevin Sheedy and all the energy of past Essendon, and I really, really want either Jamie Graham or Murray Davis. I want a clean slate. I want new Essendon. I feel like we've hung on to, the old ghosts of 99, 2000 and that era just for way too long.
Fair enough. Interesting times, Jonathan, but we'll be back here discussing it all then. Thank you so much for jumping on. That was great. Thoroughly enjoyed your insights as always. Take care, and we'll chat to you, in the next week or so, I think.
See you later.
See ya. some of you make a very good point, and yes, you are absolutely correct. And arguably, what we just did right then with Jonathan was part of why brands actually choose to sponsor, organizations, is the awareness and the discussion and putting them up in lights. So the fact that we're actually talking about Air Wallets and Dutton, and now some of us know what those things are, that is part of the whole point of it. So, and Brooke, see, as you say, Brooke says she found her dog groomer via the advertising at the AFL. So yes, not discounting it. It's just personally how I consume. But yeah, for the little things, I think there's definitely merit in it. I'm just a little bit less bothered, I guess, by him, as in by them. All right, Dave, let's have a chat to Dave. Hello. Dave.
How you going?
Is it still T-shirt weather up in Queensland? Goodness.
Yeah, it's like 25 today.
What?
It was shorts and a T-shirt today. It was, yeah.
That's ridiculous. It's August.
I got now, but it was thongs and.
Wow. I got completely seduced by the sun. It was a beautiful sunny day. I got seduced and I didn't really rug up, and then it got very cold at the G. But anyway, how are you?
I'm okay. Quick chat. So talking about tackles before, Unwin, Sharp, Vigo, Max, and Will and Setterfield, they were like our top tacklers today. So it just shows who was kind of at the contest and trying hard today and stuff, which I was really kind of happy with and stuff. So I thought that was good. Max didn't have a lot of possessions and stuff, but I thought he played well. And he's getting so much experience from playing in the seniors and stuff consistently. And the same with Artemis and Unwin. I was surprised by Unwin today. I thought he was pretty good. He surprised me today, big time. So, anything else?
He's got a bit of footy nous, doesn't he? He's got the the lowering of the body to draw a couple of free kicks. I think the second one was there, but the umpire just refused to get. He was too scared to pay it because I think Callum Mills was going to lose his rocker at him. But I think the high was there.
Yeah, no, it was there. He dropped his knees. He doesn't because he's small already. He only has to drop his knees by kind of that much, and it gets called. So, but it was heartening to see them play like they did after quarter time. I thought so. I was relatively happy compared to what that first quarter effort was. So, it would have been interesting to hear what. Solomon said at quarter time, or what someone said at quarter time to kind of get them going, whether it was a player or whether it was the coach or coaches, would be interesting to kind of find that out. But I was happy. I was heartened. Sorry, I wasn't happy to lose, but heartened.
Yeah, careful.
The way they
we'll
played.
Get in trouble. We'll get in trouble if we say we're happy. I think it felt like we were kind of pressuring the ball carrier a bit more. I don't know if it's because we went a little bit more one-on-one maybe. It's a bit hard to see when you kind of and absorb when you're there. But, yeah, the pressure rating, it felt like it went up definitely from the second quarter onwards.
Yeah. So, but coach-wise, I think McVeigh will get it. That's just my guess for now.
Okay.
And it'll be Friday still. I'm sticking by Friday. And the merry-go-round of the media and everyone else talking about it is just going to get into overdrive as of probably tomorrow, I think. Tomorrow we'll start, and every fucking football show on the planet will be talking about it, and it's just not going to end. So good luck in dealing with that and blocking that out of your mind. And
how many segments this coming week are we going to be a part of, Bomber fans? How many segments? But you know what? It's just rinse and repeat. It's just rinse and repeat at this point. Every single media person is going with, and I don't know, but it's just so enjoyable watching them flounder over, I'm not going to pretend to know. As if they've ever said that when it comes to Essendon. There's always been like an absoluteness about them when they report on Essendon, always.
I haven't seen the funny side of it either. Everyone's trying to be so serious about it. No one's kind of not taking the piss out of each other in guessing and things like that, which I find, I don't know, it's a bit, at least 300. What was that?
Segments, 300 segments.
Oh! every news, like every hour they'll be talking about it in the news and whatever radio show's on or whatever, it'll be, it's going to be painful.
I'm honestly surprised there's been no, well, it probably changes things that there's 3 interstate candidates, because I'm surprised no one's been, camping outside the hangar just watching who comes in and out. I mean, I know a lot of these things are done via Zoom and phone call, but
it'll happen this week. They'll be outside the hangar this week.
I wonder if there's a world where, again, it doesn't happen this week. I think
that would be brilliant. It's to shit everyone.
Just for the mind fuck, I would be like, just I want them to delay it another week, because this no, that's going to kill my soul. I need this to be done. Especially because there's no VFL next week. Obviously, we will get the bye because we didn't just make the finals. We made the finals. And when I say that, I mean no wild card bullshit. We made the finals. 5th.
And watch the discussion this week on, because now that the Carlton and Footscray game was a draw, it's a dead rubbers next week. So for fines for the wild card. So that's just taken everything out of what the AFL wanted to do in bringing this to the last round of the season. So
that's got to be in the L column, right? For this wild card. I know you can't control it and you can't predict that that's going to happen. It could have easily been, 4 games to decide, but I don't know.
It just shows how the AFL kind of knee-jerk reaction into last year's final series, how it was a little bit boring. This spike's on.
All right. Anybody at Tullamarine Airport, anybody flying interstate for business, just keep an eye out for any tents, beanbags, sleeping bags set up, watching. Yeah, it's so, as you're saying, that means there's going to be less for them to talk about in the media in terms of ramping up for potential games. But what about our game against Port? Because we can still, if we lose, we have the number 1 pick. That's the easy equation.
Yeah.
However, there is a chance we win because they are crawling to the finish line as well. They're coming to Melbourne.
Yeah.
Alir is in concussion protocols. Chance Butters is not coming back. How do you feel?
Well, it really depends. Who are Richmond playing?
Richmond are playing Geelong.
So our percentage, even if we, our percentage will be better. Likely, it will be better even if we win.
Yeah,
we'll end up with a better percentage. I don't know what the ladder says at the moment, but
our percentage is already better. Yeah,
I still think that they'll get Harry for number 1, or they'll pick the Port Adelaide guy, and then they'll pick the Carlton kid, the Cochrane, and
no point beating on both because you don't get an extra pick. You only get the 1 extra pick, so they'll bid on one of them, and then we'll bid on the next one.
Okay, right. That explains that. So, but I still think they'll get Harry Van Hatten. I still think they'll pick him.
If they get the pick,
If they get the pick. So, I wouldn't expect Essendon to pick him as number 1. And
I mean, after watching Vigo, maybe we don't need. I know you need depth, and Harry Van Hatten is, a couple of years away from dominating. So imagine having Vigo dominating and Harry developing in the ruck with Todd Goldstein as his mentor. Like, it's pretty.
Harry doesn't seem the type, or from what I've read, and that wants to really develop in the twos. So is he going to be more of a is he going to be more of a centre-half forward to start with before he goes directly into the ruck? Because you think about, okay, what's Harry Van Hatten going to do against Max Gawn? Max Gawn will just demolish him. Well, I think anyway. But then you look at the way Nick Naitanui, when he first came into the league, he kind of dominated straight from the start. So
yeah, good shout on Nick.
I'm okay if we win. I'll be happy for the fans, certainly for us if we win. Looking towards the future, I think whether we're bottom or second bottom, I don't think it makes that much of a difference.
Yeah, true. I mean, it'll just be if they are dead set committed to getting Harry, because we know that Richmond are going to take him no matter what. And if they've got their heart set on him, then yeah. But again, Teixeira and Butler they're going to be two quality picks that we're going to get with them anyway. So we're not losing. It's not like we're losing out terribly. All right, Dave, thank you very much for joining us for the penultimate time and for all of your heavy lifting this year. It's been much appreciated. We've got a couple more to go, but thank you very much. We'll chat soon.
You will. Thank you. Ciao.
Catch ya. Bye. I wanted to see somebody said something. Okay, well, I can't find what I was thinking of. But so let's talk to one of our favourites who we haven't spoke to for a while. Hello, lovely Ange. Can you hear me?
Every time. Sound. Let me rejoin.
I don't know why this happens with her every week, every time she's on. All right, I'm going to put the... Must be, I don't know if she was on her computer or a phone there, but there's something in the connection that she's just not enjoying. Bomber Girl thinks Archie or Gus is a better fit for EFC. Okay. Play like we did today and we'll beat Port, Matthew. Yeah, I think I agree, especially watching how they played over the weekend. Ange, can you hear me?
I can. I don't know why that happens every time.
I don't know, just for shits and gigs, I think, you know.
Oh, dear. The joys of Apple technology, seriously.
Exactly.
Anyway,
how are you?
I'm
so happy to see your face.
Oh, thank you. I have had an incredibly busy time at work, so I have not had much time for football, but I'm just through the end of a very, very busy 2 or 3 week period. So I'm merging out the other side. So I saw your note and I went, oh, yeah.
Do you get some downtime now at least?
Yeah, just normal work week now. I've had a lot of travel and all that kind of stuff, which is very boring. So we won't talk about that. But that was a pleasing effort today. That was a pleasing effort, you know, bar that section of the first quarter. I didn't see the start of the game, so I heard that first 10 minutes was nice pressure, but I thought, oh no, here we go again. And they fought back, and you know, second on the ladder, that's no slouch. And I don't know what you thought, but I felt like there was more sense of some sort of fabric appearing, some connectedness appearing, and just it wasn't like Sydney weren't trying. They obviously capitalised on every opportunity they had, but what they really, what our boys were able to do was they kept the ball off their, out of Sydney's hands for a good chunk. As soon as Sydney got it, they'd score, or they'd break through our not so great defence. But my gosh, they did a great job of keeping the ball away from them in that second and a good chunk of the third quarter as well. It was. I was pleased, and I thought, oh, here we go. We're going to get blown away in the fourth. No, I don't call 37 points. Oh, well, I don't credit that last goal. That was a joke, that last goal. But, all in all, I think there was a lot to be positive about against second on the ladder.
Yeah, and it wasn't a case of Sydney switched off, Sydney didn't try, because this is, as we spoke about on Team Selection Show with Deebs, this is only their second. Did he say it was his second or third time at the G this year, Sydney? So this was a big opportunity for them. Yeah, their second time to get ready for finals. Like, this was imperative information for their coaching group and their team. And I don't know how many of their guys haven't actually even played in finals that they actually have in their team at the moment, but they were not, foot off the braking this game. So I thought it was, given that fact as well, because that always gets thrown around recently when we've shown a bit of fight and come back in the fourth quarter while teams have pulled up. You can't say that about the second quarter. And, I know Goulden had a ridiculous game, but they've got Warner, they've got Heaney, who also did some good things, but you can't clamp them all down. Papley did nothing. So, yeah.
And that, the joy that brings me, the work that McGrath did to keep Papley out of the game. I think we would all agree that none of him strutting around doing his little strut after a goal. That was the most joyful thing. He was getting shitty at decisions not going his way or having a bit of a whinge. Great, fantastic. McGrath did a really good job. I thought that was outstanding for somebody who grinds so many people's gears.
Yeah, good call. And just shout out to Setterfield, who was watching Papley at stoppage in the forward in our D50. He was actually going to him at stoppage and he didn't get a sniff. So I think when Papley went into the centre bounce, I think Setterfield was on him for that one as well. I could be wrong, but he was on Warner, Heaney and Papley at times. So Setters had a terrific game, not just on the score sheet, but he was doing a lot right.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, as Winsock would say, Andy did a couple of his usual, run out of the defensive 50 and just kick it and bomb it. But most of them came off today. But keeping Papley quiet, that made me very happy. Happy.
Yeah, and Moby, thank you so much for the super chat, but he makes a great point. Zachary will play a full season, rejoice, absolutely. But also, how was the bounce back from him?
Yes.
Like, Kerno kicks three in the first quarter, I think it was, does not put his head in the sand. Granted, we left him out to dry a bit in the first quarter, and our pressure up the ground helped with the ball movement and it not getting in there so easily. But I was just really impressed with his attitude because, I think he's been accused of lowering the colours a little bit in the last couple of games. But credit to him.
Yeah, definitely. He really rose to it. I think the commentary team sort of pointed that out as well. There was a few times that he got the better of Charlie Curnow. Charlie Curnow, I really try not to engage in, players that we dislike. I won't say the H word, but I don't know. There's something about Curnow that I'm like, he's like an accidental full forward. He's there, he's big, he's muscly. I mean, it could be anyone. I honestly, he's going to wear on Coleman. I feel like it's a little less meaningful these days, the Coleman, as opposed to kicking more than 100. But I don't know. There's something about Curnow where I'm just like, he doesn't ever convince me that he's got it nailed. Like if he actually did what some of the full forwards have done in past eras. Yeah, but he's not convincing. So yes, I loved how Zachary responded. It was really positive. And just, I do have to pause and talk about my two boys. Everyone, if anyone's listening and they know how much I bang on about Colders, and he's had a pretty ordinary year since the Melbourne game, getting that broken nose. It like through the quarters of this game, he just got better and better as each quarter went on. Like he didn't do much in the first quarter. Second quarter started to light up. Third quarter, it was almost like he gained the confidence and willed himself back into his prior form. I just felt like he had a bit more space, and he just found himself in the right positions and made space and made himself not just that person that's in and under getting that first hard ball get, but sort of the receiving player off the contest too. So it was, as you would know, that made my heart very happy as well.
I knew it would. Yeah, I thought he put his body on the line quite a few times and beelined the ball a few times and wore heavy contact. I don't think he was overly, didn't have a lot of it in terms of, and didn't use it all that well. But I certainly think he is playing well below his full fitness capacity as 5 or 6 others I know to be doing that as well. So, and he's been doing that all year. So he's been playing at less of his full fitness capacity all year. So he's definitely been tough to get out. But good to see some
really
signs.
Good to see. And setters, the two of them together, it was nice. It was just nice to see them really go hard. But even if he's not had a great game, particularly Colders, I always have a look at his tackle count. Now, interestingly, this is what I'm not big into stats, but Visentini, 6 tackles. Like, hello.
I just love it. Do you know why? Because that's what he's needed to work on, the aggression around the ground and his aggression. Like, and the two rundown. It just
yes.
But it was the reaction afterwards. I don't know if they showed it on TV, like his reaction afterwards. He was amped. He knew how good those tackles were. He knew that they were absolute fire. He was feeling it.
That was fantastic. And up against Brodie Grundy. Like, we're talking about, how old's Vigo? Is he 19?
Yeah, that's
19, maybe just 20? Maybe the chat
Vigo
knows.
is 20 years and 11 months. So he'll be 21 soon.
And Brodie Grundy's what, 32 or something? And, significantly bulkier as a large ruck would you expect to be, and super experienced and having a brilliant year. I mean, that's really impressive. I mean, I think we saw it. Was it the West Coast game where he was just last year and he just threw himself into everything? And
Freo.
It was Freo.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, there were some signs there in that game. I mean, other than the fact he kind of just he just threw himself into every contest, literally threw himself into every contest and then got injured. But the energy and the passion was there. So it's really nice to see that there's a bit of craft coming as well.
Yeah, and I think a lot of credit has to go to Todd Goldstein as well, because he's been really the one to walk him hand hold him through his development. So and he's doing it really, really well, going through vision. He obviously is a really good communicator, Goldie, because he's been able to watch a lot of vision with him and explain where he's going wrong and what he needed to do. And Viggs must just be a sponge in that way, because he's certainly taken all of, well, I won't say all, I don't want to, dramatize things, but he's taken the feedback on what he's got to work on and actually put that into practice and actually worked on those things in the VFL. So, it's really impressed with his work. So I guess what do we need to do from here? And the bigger picture, we all see it. We all know we're rebuilding. We're a bit shit. Nobody's happy with the losses, but we're happy to see some signs. I think Big Dog said it was the honourable loss tonight, and it was. And it feels like shit, and we want to win. But where do we go from here, do you think?
Yeah, look, it's interesting from the perspective that I really feel for Dan Solomon, because he's really come in at the hardest time, and he's tweaked some game plans, and we've seen some little signs of things starting to improve. And most coaches have a period of time to create that sort of consistency in game plan and so forth. So I really feel for him, because we could be a chance next week against Port, and wouldn't that be a nice way to send him out as well? Because I think his family live interstate, and he's obviously he was an assistant coach. Be nice to see him stay on as an assistant coach. I mean, I don't think that's been confirmed or not, and not that I've seen. But again, I'm out of the loop. What do we need to see? I think there's enough to work with. It's the core, and when I watched Collingwood, when I watched some of the teams that continually endure and just are able to bring in new talent and build around the core set of players, I think it's really deciding on, from all the kids that we have, from all the babies that we have, which are the core that we've got to build around, because we've still been experimenting. So I think with clear view on whoever the coach is, and I'm not going to suggest who I think it should be. I mean, how on earth would I know? All I know is that I really hope we have somebody with a completely fresh approach that brings the energy, that galvanizes everyone together and starts to really hone in on the clarity on the game plan from the minute that they start pre-season. I think with our fitness coach. Now this will be his second season.
Yep.
With
Innes.
Ennis? That's right. Thank you. Having to, I think I've heard you talk about it. I've heard other people talk about it. It takes 2 or 3 years for the fitness coaches to really have the impact. So that should be a positive. So for me, that's the missing thing for me, is who is that core set of players, because we've had to rotate so many. That's the thing, that even though Collingwood have got a bunch of pensioners still playing for them, although they're starting to retire, a few of them, they have brought in 4 or 5 younger ones who've only got a handful of games, but they've got a core to work with. And I think that to me is the absolute essential thing that you've got to work on. And I've kind of just been going through that process myself with work, in terms of who are your core team and who do you need to refresh. And fortunately, we've had a few people make some self-selections, a bit like what we assume Zach Merritt will be, self-selecting at the end of the year. But that helps us bring in new blood, and that's an amazing thing. But you've got to choose the right people, and then how do you build the culture around the right behaviours and the right attitude? I see it no different. I feel like a lot of the attitude is starting to improve and so forth, but then it's, how do you put that into action? How do you take it into execution with the plan behind it? And you need a core set of players to do that. And I think the first half of the year, as we would all say, the senior players just did not do themselves any service. And to their credit, Redmond's had a good sort of last 4 or 5, maybe 6 games, and I'm not going to be, super precise about it. So don't take my word as gospel. In terms of number of games, he's been better, but he's been consistently better. And I think Langford down back has provided a bit of stability, and not having quarters on his game has definitely, I think, hurt us. Does has been a bit on and off, so just that core group and a core ruckman to really and work out how the game style needs to look. Then we build around that. So, a lot of the younger ones will get their opportunity, but I think we're settled in some roles, but maybe they're not key roles. It was great to see Fryer kick his first goal, and that emotion that he showed when he kicked it. That was brilliant, right? Yeah. And he's been a warrior. Is he going to win us a game? No, but he is critical when you add all the pieces together. But it's probably that group of sort of, I'd say 8 to 10 players that are the core, that carry the game plan, that carry the energy, the passion, but take it into execution. And that's what I think we've really got to galvanise. If we can do that as much as possible through pre-season and then into the first half of, next year, I think we'll be off the bottom pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think obviously still going to take some time before we make our way up the ladder. But I did watch tonight. I haven't, even though we've seen good signs in the previous games, in terms of endeavour, tonight I genuinely felt. Are you telling me that a coach wouldn't be excited to get their hands on this group like that? I felt that, and I don't think I'm putting too much mayo on that. Again, I'm not saying I still will be tipping us for bottom 4 next year, like prefacing it. But I certainly watched this group, watched Vigo, and I thought, I can't see a coach not being excited, or a coaching group not being excited with what they've got. The game time that Roby and Sharp and Farrow and Kondo have all got into them. Artemis, we've got games. Caddy's had another year battling away. When he gets some beautiful delivery and just a one-on-one opponent, that's going to be easy chips for him, because look what he's battling now. He's going through it. The adversity he's facing now, it's going to, when he's only got one opponent, it's going to be like slice and lemons for him. So I think putting in these reps now for some of these younger players is going to hold them in good stead. So
yeah, definitely.
The exposure is everything.
I think the exposure, but I feel like the thing that will propel us further forward faster will be those young ones being able to learn from really senior, experienced, solid performers week in, week out. And that's what we've been missing really in the last, couple of years. It's We just haven't had that core group. And again, I think about Collingwood, and I think about, you know, Pendlebury and Sidebottom and Jeremy Howe and all these players that, you know, they can bring in 4 or 5 new young ones because they're, you know, okay, Howe's injured, whatever. But you've got the game plan is really clear. The culture is really clear. It is like the nucleus is set. Our nucleus has not been set. Our nucleus has been whoever we've got fit for the week, or
one in, one. Yeah, exactly. It's been a 1 in, 1 out. Yeah,
exactly,
it's crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
it's been crazy.
I feel like there's a sense of that potentially building, and just
need a coach.
few things. Yeah, that is definitely the case. I think, isn't it interesting? Because I don't know, this is my observation. I'd be interested on everyone else's observation. Ye shall not mention the name of Darcy Parish. It has just evaporated from the vernacular. I think it's so interesting, isn't it? I mean, I'm good with it, right? Because I think we've got to move on and find the new core group that actually serve us for what we need. But Zach's been a warrior and you know, my God, that shiner he's got today, I mean, that's going to hurt. But he's been a warrior, and he deserves whatever he wants to find now. But I think it's just so interesting. We've just moved on from that. We've just moved on from Mackay. We've just moved on from some of these. Instead of, do we need them? Do we not need them? We're moving forward with who we absolutely need, you know, in the future. So I just stopped and went, oh yeah, there's been no mention of him. No mention of him.
It's a good point. It's going to be interesting to see what we do and what Matt Rosa is cooking in terms of the senior players and what can come, you know, during the week. Was reported that Ridley is getting some nice traction from the Dogs. But I will say that from what I have heard behind the scenes, Ridley is, let me put it this way, everything Zach Merritt was and is and did last year, Ridley is behaving in the complete opposite manner. He is showing absolute heightened respect for Essendon in this process and whatever it may be. And there's still question marks. He still may stay. He might go. But I have to give credit where it's due. Everything I have heard is that he is absolutely respecting the club and its supporters and everything about it. And that is how you exit a club on good terms.
Definitely.
So
definitely.
I'll just say that. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with Das. Yeah.
I think we've emotionally all moved on. I think, you know, the relationship has ended and
hey, a new coach may come in and fall in love with him. You know, we don't know. We'll see.
We don't know. I was just going to just super quickly mention, because I can't help it, how joyful I was at seeing the Hawthorn draw and Sam Mitchell's face. That gives me nothing but joy. There's a bloopers reel that somebody put together of a passage of play, and they were channeling Essendon. It was quite extraordinary. So if anyone hasn't seen it, I might see if I can drop the link in the chat, because it is, I don't know if you're able to do that, but it was absolutely hilarious. And just sometimes the small things can be enjoyable.
Absolutely. We've got to actively find the joy, Ange. These are tough times. We have to actively search for joy. So definitely drop that link in the chat, because I'm sure many people here in this community would love to see it. And thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. It has been a while, and grateful to have you in the community as well. So thank you. Enjoy hopefully a more restful week.
Thank you. Go the Dogs.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
We love some Ange. All right, let's have a chat to Andrew. Hey, Andrew.
This has been a very deep program.
Has it?
Yeah, I think it has been. You know, very merry, Jonathan and Ange and yourself, and commenting and you know where we go from here and who, you know. But I you know, I just want to know. I just want to say I have put it up on your chat.
Mm-hmm.
We want to win next Sunday. Desperately, not just for the supporters, for those young players who have had a really, really tough year. Who gives a stuff about being on the bottom, you know, winning the wooden spoon again? That it makes no difference. We'll get out of this period, and we'll be a lot better off for it. And if the people want to come along for the journey and for the ride, when we do become a powerful team again, stick with us, and we will. And for those who want to drop off and then criticise who we appoint and all the rest of it, well, it's been nice knowing you, and goodbye. Okay?
Yeah.
So let's just get on with it. I've got my favourite. I know who I want, but if it's not him, because only males going for the position, of course, wouldn't it be interesting if a female was actually good enough to go for a senior coaching position? I'll hope I'm around to see the day when we do appoint a female senior coach. Maybe Daisy from WA. Anyway.
I think there would be many, many meltdowns given some of the misogyny I myself received. I receive online. So I think many, many meltdowns, but I would love for it to happen just so I could sit back and watch said meltdowns.
Yeah, well, my best CEOs and managers have always been females. There you go. So there's a story behind that, but not about me. It's about where we go. And what we need to do as a club, and the club needs to go through each player, and see if they're mentally, as you had that mental wellness strength show the other night. I think every player needs to go through. We need to go through every on our list to see if they are capable of growing themselves. When you're playing a bad game, I've put it in this context. When you play a game and you lose the game, what is the player thinking? Are they thinking, I had a good game, bad game? Or are they thinking, how can I improve on this game? And what have I done? What do I need to do to improve and change my behaviour if it's lacking? Some players get it. The Merits get it. The Merits know, and they perform week after week after week, even though we might not like him because of what he did last year. But you can, when he runs out on the ground, okay, there has been some periods there where they weren't that good, but he's back on track. And a good example is, all your superstar players, your Dacosses and your the ones who played today for Sydney, the three big boys there who, I think 999 metres gained from Gooden.
No, Goulden was in the four figures. He had over 1,000 metres gained.
Over 1,000?
1,034.
There you go.
The two-way running on that guy.
Now, someone needs to take a clip of this is the Essendon Football Club, mind you, not us. The Essendon Football Club needs to go through his game and say to the young players like Farrow and I think I'm very disappointed in Perkins. He does not have a second effort. A very poor second effort in his game. First effort, fantastic. If he gets the ball, runs, does everything nicely. But if he needs to basically go back in, he's lacking something in his game. Now that's development.
The reaction time. It's the reaction time.
Yeah, it's slow.
But it's very slow, but it can be improved because it's what was happening with Vigo. And I said it earlier in the year, his reaction time was so off, but he's improved that immensely. So that's what makes me think he can improve it. Someone help him. A coach needs to help him with this.
I agree. Look, I think it'd be sad if we do lose him and he doesn't fulfill his potential. But I'm disappointed that he's played over 100 games.
Yeah, not a good game today. Yep.
No. And the other game, and please, Jones will never be a backman. Never. Okay, he's not a backman.
In fairness, he's had 2 minutes. He's had 3 training sessions as a backman and 3 games as a backman. So
it might be early. Might be early. You might be thinking.
But I see your point. Yeah.
Physically,
the signs aren't good.
do you eat cow, chickens? Do you eat pork? Do you eat meat?
I'm a big carnivore.
Meat eater?
Big carnivore. Yep.
Okay, I'm going to lighten up a bit.
Sorry to any vegetarians. I apologise.
Well, I have to say, look. When I was a child, I wouldn't eat my red meat. Okay, that's probably why I'm short and got some problems now mentally. But
I don't know where. I'm going to be honest, Andrew. I don't know where we're going with this, but okay.
Well, some of our players, of skin and bone. They've been
I see
skin
what
and
you're saying.
bone. They've been skin and bone since they've been at the club, and they've not put any physical weight on, or it doesn't appear to be, and they get pushed around like a rag doll, in physical context, in taking marks, holding their ground. What on earth are we doing? The nutritionists at that club should be sacked. Let's sack it, whoever it is. Let's get them out and get someone in to bulk these players. Why can West Coast consistently bulk up their players and they still play? Why do other clubs like Brisbane, Adelaide, they bulk up their players? Why can't we do it? What is the problem at this club? In the old days, you used to have, when your team used to go in for on a Thursday night, the committee or the ladies, I don't want to be sexist, but there used to be the ladies committee used to cook up a dinner for the players. Okay, before the Saturday game, they used to get a nice pasta or whatever. But anyway, we need more than that. There's something going on with our actual certain key players. If we're going to have key players from the spine, they had to hold their ground. Like you looked at it with Reid, Jones, Bryant, all these sort of players we've got who are supposed to be Redmond, and the other players around them, like they had to put on a bit of muscle somewhere. Someone needs to put a bit of muscle on because it makes it easier for the runners and the ball getters. They protect them. They actually help them in a game. And we're constantly getting outmarked and pushed away. And Caddy as well. Caddy gets pushed off the ball far too easily. You can argue the case of the ball coming down incorrectly, but then again, when he's standing in ground, he gets pushed underneath, and that's because he's got no physical strength. Now, yes, we can say that they're young, we can say they're young players and that type of thing, but and they'll take time, but we haven't. Sorry.
There is a real big balance. Yeah, Brooke, absolutely. Not enough Twix. Get fattened up in this household, that's for sure. The meat and sweets cupboard is always stacked. But it's a hard balance because you risk a few things when you just bulk them up. You risk them breaking down, and especially the tall, lanky ones with Reid. We actually pulled him back and had to trim him off because he put on bulk in his upper body, and his lower body was his back. He was getting back issues and lower body issues because he just wasn't coping with the extra load. The other thing is you put too much size onto a Nate Caddy, and does he lose that athletic ability? Does he lose a bit of the zip and the ability to jump in the air? So it is a balance, but I take your point. And
we can't have a whole team. We cannot have a consistent team for 20 years of being this type of team. We'll go nowhere quickly. That's the problem. Anyway, going on the next thing, I'm going to give out. You need to give out some Twix, chocolates, whatever. To Centerfield and Pryor. I think those two players. Now, we go for the big name, all the stars and all the rest of all the time. But these two players are battlers.
Love it. Sing it.
Yep, you've got it. Good.
Sing it loud.
Yeah, beautiful. Because I think today's game from Pryor in particular and Centerfield as well in the midfield, I think they both need to get. Well, I'm not sure Centerfield. He should be given a contract now. He should be given. He should be given a 2-year or at least a year contract without any shadow of a doubt. And Pryor, if he hasn't got a contract, I'm not sure if he's contracted. He should be given another. He should be given another year on his performance because I think the effort they put in is fantastic. It is fantastic.
These are the guys. They are two of the guys. You said the best thing, right? You said the best part. They're not the big names. They're the guys that most Essendon fans will be like, they're shit. Cult them. They're not the big names. They'll never get the chocolates. Well, they will on a certain show Monday nights, 7 o'clock. However, they'll never get the chocolates in mainstream media with most fans. But these are the two guys who, behind the scenes, are setting the standards and showing these kids what it looks like to not fluctuate in terms of your standards dependent on your outside on the outside noise. Are you getting picked? Doesn't matter. Setters is exactly the same every single training session, whether he's getting picked every week, whether he's not. His interaction with the group is the same. And Jackson Pryor is the other one. And it is showing because they have both had some really good moments this year as role players.
Yeah, and the other thing too, as you said, there's a lot of players who are carrying injuries. You know that Wright's injured. You know that Roberts has got an injury. You know that Caldwell is nowhere near as dominant as he is. Then you go back to say, well, hang on a minute. What has Sartis done not to get a game? Like throughout the year, like can he be developed? We know his weaknesses. He's got plenty of them, like in relation to two-way running, defensively, but he's an accumulator of the football. He gets the ball, Anyway, that's something they'll have to work out. It's out of our pay scale. They've got their plan for him. If they're going to let him go, God forbid if he goes to a top side and becomes you're too young to remember. Back in the 70s when we had one good footballer in the early 70s at Essendon, and a lot of people who might be listening in was Sproul. I forget his first name, Sproul, who went to Richmond. He was a midfielder.
Okay.
And he played in their premiership sides. And he cut sides up left, right, and set it in the midfield. He was a superstar midfielder. And he came from Essendon because we wouldn't pay him an extra $10 a week. Something like that. I haven't got the exact amount of money, but we wouldn't pay. In those days, Essendon were very tight with their money, and we would not pay players. Anyway, so that's another issue. But Mackay, Parrish, Ridley. Look, I don't want to get. Quite frankly, if we can keep, we can say, well, get rid of this player, get rid of that player. I know we spoke about this before about getting rid of players and that. We need to take a deep breath. Wait till the new coach gets a pick. In actual fact, the most important part of this process is not the senior coach. Can you tell me what the most important part is?
Assistant coaches, development coach.
Yeah, you're spot on. Whoever we bring in the next phase of our growth, it would have to be. We need to pick the eyes out of the top assistant coaches, the top development coaches, the top mind coaches, and bring them into the club. And if we had to pay over the salary cap for the soft cap, Mr. Walsh, put your hand in your pocket and donate some money to the club. You've got plenty of it, and pay the fine. Okay, pay the fine and forget about going keeping within the. We need to get the best. We need to get the best to develop our players. So. And I think would you not? I've got a funny feeling we might not pick our senior coach to after the Port game.
It's a possibility, Andrew. It is. It's a definite possibility.
I think they might just, they might know who it is. They probably do know who it is. But I think they're waiting for the right time, and I think it's a little bit of payback too to the media, to certain people.
It certainly feels like playing with the mouse, the cat, with the wall and the string. This is what it feels like.
That's it. That's right. It's mind games.
I'm so here for it.
Are you here for it? How'd you go before I get off? How'd you go with the vodkas and the orange and the lemon juice? Did you go with that or didn't?
I didn't because I didn't go out. You know what I did do? Oh, well, I did have oranges, but I was smashing the oranges. I didn't go out and have orange juice, but I have had a few vodka sodas. Does that count? I didn't do the exact remedy.
Okay. Vodkas are okay. Anything which is, people like to go to whiskey or
medicinal,
brandy. Yeah, that type of stuff and that. Even So, but
but thank you for the. I'm here for all the natural. Well, is it natural? Not really natural, but all the different remedies that doesn't require me going to the doctors and getting.
I just give people a bit of warning here: do not overdo it with oranges or mandarins or anything like that, because I'll tell you a little story. Before I go off, OD
on the vitamin C. Did you?
I had too many. I got into I had a bad cold like yourself, and I don't drink orange juice. So, but we had orange juice in the house, and so I was drinking the orange juice, eating the mandarins and all the rest of it, and I got sick. went to my doctor's. I was sick. I didn't feel right. And he had to do a sugar test on me, and I was 21, 22 sugar levels, and they had to put me to hospital because I gave myself diabetes. I had to go to hospital. Then I had to go on. Anyway, I'm fine now, but this is a couple of years ago, and I thought, I was telling the doctor, well, look, I've just had too much of something, and but there was I had an overdose basically.
Wow.
And, I threw my system out of kilter. But,
oh no!
So
you live and learn.
You do well. That's right. Although the hospital was very nice, I enjoyed staying in the hospital. But anyway, but yeah.
All right, Andrew.
Okay. Well, I'll let you go.
Yep, we are. Yep, one more. We'll see what this week holds, and then we really are on the home stretch now. One more to go, and then we get free reign to enjoy VFL finals. So can't wait.
Just on that one. A good point. At the beginning of the year, sorry to drag this out. I'm going to give yourself a bit of a pat on the back here. When I used to go on SCN, which I don't do anymore, with Dwayne's World, I said at the beginning of the year that the Essendon VFL side, okay, would make the finals because of our list. Okay, so I'll give myself a big tick on that, and I'll take credit for that. Well, not credit, but I'll take because I thought we had the players, the core group of players, to do really well, and it's come good right at the end. And the other thing I did say that we'll finish around 10th, which I was way off, and I thought we would do a lot better than that we had. So I'll give myself a big cross against that. But next year, I'm pretty sure with the right coach and the influx of a couple of key players and a couple of tweaks to our list, don't underestimate what young, youthful, enthusiastic team can do. And depending on the draw, and injury-free, and the mindset is right, we'll be in games a lot better than we'll improve, but we'll still finish about fourth last. But anyway,
I think so when it's all said and done. Yeah, but we can hope to see and expect to see little improvements.
Well, we all hope to. Okay, see you.
Yep. Thank you so much. Catch you next week. See you later. Bye. All right, let's chat to Muzz. Hello, Muzz. In the dark, do we get some light, or are we just going to go back to the roots of just where I can see the glow from your phone?
It's not the glow from my phone, actually. I've got the stats up here.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's not my phone.
You look like you don't have a body. Oh, it's just a face in the dark. Okay, it's good. We're good.
Anyway, how's everyone doing? Good.
Yeah, we're good. How are you?
I'm good, actually. Yeah, I've had a pretty chill week this week, so it's been really good. Yeah, I got to watch the game though today. I got home at 4:00 from work, so
good.
Got to stand and watch the game, which was good. First quarter, look, it didn't look the absolute best. Second quarter, we fought back. The spirit of the boys, they really fought back and they really had their intent, which was really good to see. I thought Will Setterfield, he's really stood up this year when he has come back in the side, especially today. Give him another contract. As a bit, well, it's basically 80% guaranteed that Merritt's probably going to leave the club anyway. So having someone like a Setterfield, just for that experience at the club, is probably going to be a good thing. Obviously, we get Martin back in too, which is, I've missed him this year. Can't lie. I've missed Martin.
I know.
Can I just give a quick shout out to Vizentini?
You may.
He has gone to another level. He is really performing at a great standard. I love watching him right now. Oh, I love watching the VFL boys too. There's a few people in there I want to give a shout out to, but Vizentini, especially in that last where he took that pack mark and kicked his goal, that just brought him to a different level. And that's what I like to see off young talent. I thought Pryor did amazing today. Twix awards go to Pryor instantly.
Yep.
For today's game, he's stepped up to another level. Everyone throughout the whole season has been saying Pryor's going to get delisted. Pryor's going to do this. Pryor out of the side, taken back to the VFL. He's just proved why he's an AFL player and why he deserves to stay on the side tonight. Great. He did amazing. Roberts, he did good. Had another good game, as a Roberts game does. Can't give Just for opposition, Golden 47. I mean,
Ridiculous.
oh, he's like a Bailey Dale. Gave me a headache.
Oh,
I think I heard his
yeah.
name one too many times. And then
Yep.
as I said, I think we let that game go in the first quarter. The first quarter really let us down. And as on Fox Footy, they said, Essendon, they've only won 3 first quarters this year.
Mm-hmm.
And we've
Yeah.
won 2 of those games. 2 out of the 3 of those games we've won.
Something needs to be investigated in why are we starting so poor so consistently.
It baffles me because we play well for 3 quarters of football. We just can't get that 4-quarter performance. If we had that 4-quarter performance, which we saw against Melbourne and Adelaide at Gather Round, we can really put teams to the sword and really make challenges. And it's teams like the top 8 teams, like Geelong, like Sydney, like these top-end teams. We don't play a 4-quarter performance, and it hurts.
Yeah. It's just we're always playing catch-up, and that mindset of the players, and it's always like the mountain is you're at the bottom of the mountain before you've even had a chance to get to the mountain. You're always on the back foot and chasing rather than leading.
It's if the boys had a good lead. We played Sydney last year at Marvel Stadium. We got the good lead and we saw what happens with it. We've seen this young talent, what they can do, and we've got a great list. Whoever heads coach, which I have my favourite opinion of who I would like to be head coach.
Well, who do you want to be coach?
I love Hurd as much as I do love Hurd. I don't want him to be coach. I'd rather Mark McVeigh.
Mark McVeigh, love this from you, Mars. I don't feel like Mark McVeigh is getting a lot of love in general. And I understand all the reasons why. I just don't. I think he's been sorry.
Hurd coming back into the club for culture, as an assistant coach. Sure, love the idea. He's a Bomber man. Come back in, get some spirit back up into the young group. I love the idea. Play him as a forwards coach. Help out as a forward coach. Don't mind it whatsoever. Perfect. As a head coach, though, I feel like the boys, as much as they do get disciplined, they need more structure. And I feel like McVeigh, being under Longmire and also under Dean Cox, he's learnt that structure for more time. And this is what this group needs, especially as a young talent group. They need structure, they need discipline, and they need to put the work in. And I feel like McVeigh will really crack down on that. I'm not saying Hurd wouldn't. I just feel like McVeigh, for being at the top level for a bit longer now, under Longmire and Cox, I feel like he would be best off.
His resume is nothing to frown about. He has significant evidence of being very good in developing players in the academies and he took the Swans Academy when he got there to grand finals. He's been at GWS in Sydney when both have been in finals and grand finals. He's been in elite cultures, learning from elite, coaches. Look at Josh Fraser. Where did he do his apprenticeship? Is this a coincidence? This is not a coincidence. This is the recipe. Look at Stephen King. Where did he do his apprenticeship? This is not a coincidence. Coincidences do not exist.
And this is where I'm saying, this is where Essendon really needs to knuckle down. I love how everyone's getting on the Hurd thing, saying bring culture back. I love Hurd. Again, important. I do love him. Culture's important. It's one of the most important things in football. Don't get me wrong. But this team needs more than just culture right now. It needs structure. It needs more than just culture. I love Hurd for culture, but structure and discipline-wise, I just don't think Hurd's it yet. He needs more experience at top level. VFL, credit. Well done to the VFL boys. Had a 27-point win over the Swans at Windy Hill. Haitley, great game again. He had 35-1, I think he did. 35-1. Haitley.
Who's that? Oh, Haitley, yes. Yeah, took another really big mark.
Another really, really impressive game. He's had some really, really standout games over the last, we've won 6 in a row in our VFL. Great. Elijah Sidles again. Another really good game from him too. O'Neill steps up as our captain again. He does another really good game. Thought Gresham, 5 goals. Just on the odd day out,
I just laugh. I just laugh at Gresham. I just do. It's I shouldn't laugh because, but he's having fun. He looks like he's having an absolute goddamn ball. They all do, to be fair. The environment, the energy at 3/4 time, I was watching them pumping it because the game was still on the line at that point, and they were amped and they were egging each other on, and the chemistry is just. And Tyler Sellers, I mean, he's just a brick wall down there. He I don't know. There's just something about him. We could do worse than having a Tyler Sellers on a list.
Yeah. We've got two really good forwards, Tom Edwards and Liam McMahon, in the VFLs too. We're looking like a really young list, and it's a really good young list to have. You're looking at people like McMahon. You're looking at people like Edwards. You've got Elijah Cyrus down there still. All these guys that
Sardar Hooley, I want to shout out Sardar Hooley, who has had
exactly.
The 2 weeks, last week and this week. He was terrific, and he was terrific in his ball use, which has been the question mark on some of his stuff this year. But shout out, intercepting everything, and using the ball well. So I liked his game.
Zach Johnson's another one too, who's done really, really well. But yeah. Going into Port this week, at Marvel, this is a win we can have.
Yeah,
we saw Port's performance last night against the Demons at their home. They got absolutely thrashed. This is confidence going into this week. If we get this job done, this will set up for the pre-season and for next year. And what we take into next year is really important.
Yep,
We've done good. We hit the draft. We reset and we go again. And this is where we really need to start knuckling down. I don't think the head coach will get appointed until after the Port game.
You don't? Okay.
No, I don't think he'll get appointed until after the Port game. The boys really need a lock on this week. Focus on this week. Focus on going into a smooth pre-season, getting a win, getting the boys up and about, heading into the pre-season on a high level. Go through with this. Go through the assistant coaches and all the coaches after that. It's important for assistant coaches too, who we bring in for assistant coaches, because as Thingo said previously, assistant coaches is more important than the head coaches, and I do agree with that right now.
Yeah. Arguably the assistant coaches spend more one-on-one time. Not arguably, they do spend more one-on-one time with the players. So they are just as vital. Yeah, just as vital. And look, I don't want us to be like, I don't want anonymity to be an issue in terms of how we judge any assistant coaches that come in. Just because we don't know their names or I'm not super familiar with them. Like I'm watching it happen with Jamie Graham and Murray Davis. The disrespect, because some Essendon fans have never heard their names. Well, a lot of fans have heard their names because we watch a lot of football. We are into that kind of thing. But just because we're not super familiar with a big name, nobody knew Stephen King's name. Who knew Justin Longmuir's name?
I love Murray Davis as a coach. I reckon he'd be a great head coach at a different club.
Yeah, I'm just saying in terms of our assistant coaches, there might be some names we're not familiar with, and I just don't want us to hold that against them before they've had a chance to prove their worth. So, yeah, TL, you knew their names as players. Yeah, so you knew who they were, but perhaps maybe we hadn't followed their careers. But when you do the investigation and you actually look into their histories, you find out. But a lot of people just, he's no good. Who the hell? I've seen a lot of who the fuck is Murray Davis? Well, Murray Davis was a huge part of where Brisbane are, why they are where they are. Like,
I bet 95% in this chat forgot who Craig McRae was before he took over Collingwood.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you can't deny these people that haven't been in the AFL world, for the last bit, like a Murray Davis, like a Jamie Graham. But what they can do under different coaches and what they've learnt, you can't take that away from them. And I do agree with that.
Yeah, we've got to give him a chance before, we judge them or put a line through them, Yeah. All right, Muzz, on that note, we'll let your bodiless face just zoom back into the abyss. And thank you so much for gracing us with your presence.
Oh, good. I don't feel like I hop on here enough anymore. I'm always at work. I'm busy doing something. So had the time
We've
to come
missed
on
you.
today. So I thought I'd say hello. I don't know if I'll be on next week,
Okay.
but if I'm not on, goodbye for the rest of the year. Good luck for next week. Hopefully we get the win. And yeah.
Yep. Sounds good. Well, we'll be doing a handful of lives between now and the end of the season anyway. So
I'm sure we will. We've got a lot of stuff to
in
cover.
we do. So we might see you back here in some capacity. All right, Mars, have a good week.
I'll be back. I'll be around.
Catch
See you
up.
later, guys. Bye.
Bye. I just got used to the floating head after a while. I don't know about all you. I know you're all finding it uncomfortable in the chat, but I just got used to it. Hello, Solution.
How are you?
Is Andrew just in the kitchen busy cooking your dinner and you just have just taken the spot?
Yeah, he's trying to feed me more fruit, but I'm worried I'm going to lose a toe from diabetes. So, yeah.
Oh, he could be cooking you a steak.
He could be. Yeah, the guy who wants to lead our nutrition program nearly overdosed on fruit. But we love you, Andrew. We do love you.
No, we absolutely do.
Yeah, Muzz, I think it was Meiji Japan, about the Meiji era in Japan, where Bunraku theatre was first introduced, which is basically a black background with a light puppet. And I didn't realise Muzz was an aficionado of Bunraku theatre, but there you go.
We're learning things about Muzz every week on this channel.
Correct. So, honourable loss today.
I bet you didn't see that coming. You were on the 150-point loss, weren't you?
Oh, look, I do think there is a little bit of a pattern of teams getting out to an early lead.
Oh, the flyby.
60. Jeez, Muzz.
Ouch.
Yeah, we're going to have words, mate. But yes, there is a bit of a pattern of teams getting out to an early lead, and then we work our way back into it. But anyway, that's by the by. One thing I'll also disagree with Andrew on is, do you remember Ben Cousins, his documentary Such Is Life? I don't know if you saw it, but he's talking about him at the height of his drug period, and he used to go on these benders that would last for 5 days, 6 days. And his thinking was, he reckoned by the 4th or 5th day in his head, and I don't mean to make light of addiction, but his comment was, we've come this far. I can't stop. I have to keep going. And for me, I do not want to. We've suffered all these horrible losses. It's been the worst season ever. We've come this far. Bank the number 1 pick. Bank the number 1 pick next week. Lose. No one is going to give a shit in 3, 4, 5 years' time whether we won that game or not.
We're not, but we're going to give a shit on Sunday night.
We will, but if Big Harry is as good as I think he might be, the big ruckman, and we go for him or whoever we go for, we're not going to care when he's played 100 games of football and we've got a transformative player. So that's my opinion on that. But the main reason I thought I'd jump on is I don't know if you believe reports, sounds like Mark McVeigh will be coach. And
are you believing the media, or is that what you believe just off your own volition?
Well, it seems to be rumbling that's gathering steam, just to mix metaphors.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to say I think it's a fantastic decision if it is Mark McVeigh. I've been on this channel before, and I've laid my cards out on the table. I like Herd. I'm not anti-Herd. I've joked about Herd sexuals. I say it with my tongue in cheek. My mum's a Herd sexual.
My mum is too. Maybe our mum should get it.
They should come out.
Yep.
Yeah, but she sends me like notes and she sends me links to articles about James Herd. Look,
I love it. I love it. My mum does too.
Look, great, but I'll challenge anybody who wants to put in the chat or jump on. give me one football reason, not a vibes reason, not a culture. Give me a football reason why James Hird is better credentialed, has better experience than McVeigh. McVeigh has extensive experience working with junior players, young players, and that's what we need. We need
we need a convention of the Herd mums, I think.
That's right. That's right. I love it. I think McVeigh's got that charisma that will bring.
Yeah. Let's talk a bit more. Let's talk if the reportings are true and if everybody is on. If he's going to be our next coach, let's talk a bit more about him.
Yeah.
What else?
So really, he's got experience. Like he did, by all reports, and I think Longmire said this. He did a fantastic job with their academy. With a year, I think he spent a year or 2 years there. That's exactly what we need. We need somebody who's used to working with young players, who can bring players along. And I've got no doubt Hird would do a good job. The other two candidates are great candidates also, but I'm wrapped with Mark McVeigh. I think he's the best of both worlds. I think he's got that little bit of aura about him. He'll be good for all those intangible things, but he has practical, hands-on experience working with young players, and that's what we need. So if that's the way it falls, I'm delighted. I did send out something on Twitter last week, and again, tongue-in-cheek, I asked whether the Herd sexuals would accept the umpire's decision. Coach the Allies to their first ever win. There you go. I asked Herd sexuals, would they accept the umpire's decision? I was surprised to hear many people. No one was sort of abusive or vitriolic, but
that's a nice change of pace.
Exactly, but many did say they're walking away or they're not renewing their membership if Herd isn't made coach. And what I would say is, like, no man is bigger than the club, whether it's James Hird, whether it's Simon Madden, whether it's Tim Watson, whether it's John Coleman, whether it's Dick Reynolds. And if Hird, full credit to him, he's put his name forward, copped a lot of flack in doing so, didn't need to. I think he's done it for the right reasons. He wants the club to be successful. But if he's not appointed coach, we all need to get behind whoever is appointed. Conversely, if he is made coach, same thing. We need to get behind the coach. So I think the announcement will happen this week. And what I hope is that the shit show that has been social media is going to calm down and everyone's going to get behind the decision.
Yeah, look, there can't be that many. Like right now, we're in the stamp the feet toddler. I want what I want and I want it now. And rightly or wrongly, I just don't believe them. I don't believe them because when Roby is about to is doing a Duster Martin type shit next year, those people are going to be like, oh, how good's Roby? So I just don't believe it. I just don't believe it, nor do I care. I truly don't. I don't care and I don't believe it. Those people who say I'm not renewing.
Well, yeah.
Like, are we a club that just panders to we choose because we make a decision because so many people said I'm not going to renew my membership?
Well, there's also a cohort of people, and this is not me, and don't shoot the messenger, but this is what I've heard. There's a cohort of people who still blame Hird for the supplement saga and won't renew on the basis of him being selected. Again, yes. I don't agree with that decision, but
both ways.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So I think people need to just abide by the umpire's decision. I've been critical of the process too. Like 5 of the 7 people involved in the decision never played football. So, I'll be repeating myself, but I'm not a big fan of the process that's been ran. But look, if they land on McVeigh, let's get behind it. I think it'll be a good decision, and I think he's ready. And just one final thing, like on the fans component, memberships and things like that, the only thing that's going to bring back the fans en masse and get us out of the death knell of the 4:40 p.m. time slot on a Sunday and get us away from the worst umpiring group because no one's watching, so they just put the worst umpires on our games. The only thing that's going to do that is sustained success.
That's right.
It's not going to be from 6 weeks of good footy at the start of next year. It's not going to be by finishing 10th and maybe sneaking into a quote-unquote final that we then lose. It's going to be by sustained success. That's the only way this club is going to turn around. And it's going to have to continue to be a rebuild and continue to work on the foundations and getting the best draft picks and building from the bottom up. And I think someone like McVeigh with the right team around him, which could include Hurd, by the way, will be, I think, well placed to do that.
Is there a world where we're just waiting now on Hurd's decision? Like if, for example, they have said to McVeigh, or they've decided on McVeigh, I don't know that they've told him, but if they've decided on McVeigh and they've put it to Hurd and said, we want to go in a different direction, but would you consider being a head of coaching, assistant coach? I don't know, pick one. Like, is there a world where we're just waiting on his decision? Because we all know that he wants to be head coach, and maybe there's a world where, you know, it's head coach or nothing. But do you think they might have been able to change his mind on that?
I think possibly, because I think McVeigh and Welsh are probably fairly convincing fellows.
Right,
and
okay.
They all know each other. They're ex-teammates, and I think there's definitely a world where that could be the case. I also want to say a word about Dean Solomon, if I could, as well. I think he has held his head up, or he can hold his head up extremely highly. He's been, I think, better than I thought in terms of the way. It's less about what I'm seeing on the field, although I'm seeing effort, and we're still seeing the same mistakes. But he's, I guess, the way he's carried himself and the way he's carried himself in press conferences, I think has done him no harm and his reputation no harm at all. So hopefully he's involved as well. Yeah,
good shout. Look, I think maybe because of the Essendon connection and the Essendon relationship, I think you could have a point that if it is McVeigh, maybe Hurd could be swayed because of that. But I think if it's Davis or Graham, I don't think there's any way Hurd would be an assistant coach or head of coaching. But if it's Spike, then it may be. Love the point on Solly. I think he's held himself with absolute grace this entire time, and I felt completely sorry for him. I think he's been unfairly treated by a certain camp, but that's fine. I want to ask one question before you go. And chat, I'm asking you this question too. Do you know why was McVeigh given the nickname Spike? Do you know?
He had like spiky hair when he started.
I do know that, but is that why he was given that nickname? Is that that's definite reason? There's nothing more to it, just the hair?
I don't know. Do you know why his ex-boss was called Horse? Do you know that story?
No, I
don't.
I don't. Is it because I don't know, is that some people say he looks like one? I don't know.
It might be because he's John Longmire's nickname Horse might have come from his exploits, or maybe people in the showers might have
what?
In the change rooms might have called him Horse, yes. Sorry, I led the witness there.
That can't be official. That cannot be official.
Moby's nailed it.
Yeah, but are you telling me that's the official? No, that can't be. It can't be.
Do you know why there was a footballer called Warren Jones, and his nickname was Wow? Do you know why? Because he had a W on one cheek and a W on the other. A W tattooed on one cheek, one butt cheek, a W on the other. So every time he bent over.
Oh my God.
So yes,
okay.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, okay. Marie is coming in with some perhaps facts. Longmire got it at a preseason camp because he ate like a horse. Look, I'm a big Marie fan. She's a wonderful, wonderful lady. So I don't know, Solution. I think I'm a bit more inclined to believe this reasoning than yours.
I'll defer to Marie.
Where did you get who's your source? Who's your source? It wasn't Trust Me Bro, was it? Trust Me Bro University?
No, look, I'm sure I heard it.
Okay.
In the media at one point, probably on Triple M, but I'll defer to Marie. She's normally right.
Okay. All righty. On that note, we shall wait and see. Will it be a busy week or not? Did you say you think it's going to be this week?
Yeah, I do.
I think Andrew made a good point. Like, there is a world where they just wait till after the Port game, because why distract? We have a real. I know you don't want to, but I know we have a real chance of winning this game. They'll get a lot of confidence from tonight. They will, and Solly will get them up and about for his last game. Who knows? Last game at Essendon. Who knows?
No,
so
don't win.
Shush. But I'm saying, like, would they put the distraction of a new coach and these players having to sit in a press conference and these players having to do things off the field? Like, I don't know. Maybe they just want them to distract.
Hopefully, if it's going to bring another loss, we've had the worst season ever with like 60 point, 70 point, 80 point, 90 point thrashings, losses. And the one little bit of hope I've had is we're going to have the number 1 draft pick and hopefully a additional pick as well at the end of the first round or something like that. Essendon, don't fuck it up now. We've come this far.
Right. Enough of you. Get out of here. All right, here we go. Briefcase crime says Monday, Tuesday. Oh, that early. All right. I don't know. Wait and see. All right. If not, you all know we'll be back here the evening of. We'll have a panel ready to go to chat through all the findings when we do. So until then, thank you for your insights as per.
Peace out.
Take care.
See you guys.
Bye. All right, let's have a chat to Tim. Hello, Tim.
Hi, Piana. How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Not too bad. I share 90% of your sentiments about today's game. So, I thought, we're trending in the right direction. We're losing by less.
True. The margins are getting less. Yep.
The margin is getting smaller. And
hang on, Tim. Have we been beaten by 100 yet? We almost did by Geelong, but not Geelong.
No, I don't think so.
Well, that's a big tick.
Yeah,
that. I know. The bar is low. Don't yell at me. The bar is low. I know, but we haven't had 100-point thrashing.
No, and there is a genuine danger that we will beat Port, next week.
Well, definitely won't be 100, I think. So
yeah,
loss.
but it matters not whether we get pick 1 or 2. Really, in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to alter our trajectory. The players deserve some reward for effort. So I'd be, happy with the win. I just don't want us to be disgraced in the last game of the year. I want them to go, a credible loss or a win. I don't want any sort of blowout in the last game. But no, I was pleased with how they played today. So there was, we had, Vigo. He's been great. He's even better this week than last week. He's now looking like he's, ready to be, permanently in the team. Gets a preseason. He should be good. Brian, we still need Brian. He needs a preseason as well. Make all decisions about who's in the top 23 after preseason, after a new coach, after all the new development wizards we've got have run their magic over the preseason period. And we'll see how we come up next season.
Yep.
I can't let this go without mentioning how much I hate Sydney. And I put a comment in that Sydney are good in the way that Cobra Kai were good at karate, but they were still all arseholes. And so
I'm surprised the venom for Sydney. What ignited this hate?
They've got so many hateable. I know Ange didn't want to use the H word, but they've got so many hateable players. It's
currently or have
currently,
Oh,
and historically, they've been a nemesis team of, how many 1-point preliminary final losses have we had?
Okay. Okay.
We've had a fairly torrid time at their hands, and so
some humiliating times too.
Heaney, hate Heaney. Papley,
Really?
Papley.
Okay.
They're not nice people. They might be good players, but they're not nice people. You can tell their personality by the way they react and interact with umpires and opposition and players. There are champion players at other teams like Pendlebury, who I admire and would happily have in my team. There's no one I can think of from Sydney who I would be pleased to see at our club that comes to
I'd
mind.
take
There's
them
probably,
all.
actually, no, I think Brodie Grundy I give an exemption to, because I felt he was shafted by Melbourne and ended up at Sydney, probably not where he had planned or desired to be, but he's okay. But I don't know if others share my antipathy and visceral response to Sydney. They're certainly not up there with Hawthorn and Carlton, but I never enjoy our games against them, especially when we lose. So
fair enough.
But yes, thank you, Fiona, for your program throughout the year. I will hopefully be watching and celebrating after our win next week. But just on the off chance that I'm not here, I'll say it now, like Muzz. I think on the coaching front, I want it to be heard. I don't think it's going to be heard. I think if it's going to be heard, they would have announced on Tuesday. I don't think they've spoken to anyone since they did all their presentations and stuff a week or so ago. So to me, the only reason for the delay would be because the person they're selecting, it would be complicated, and that's why it's McVeigh, because we played them. Announcing before we're about to play a game against them would have been put him in a difficult position, would have been influencing the game in an unfair manner. The announcement will be Tuesday or Wednesday, and likely to be McVeigh. That's my prediction.
Okay.
And
Locked
I will
in.
back whoever they pick, but I'll be sad if it's not heard.
Fair enough. More than fair enough, Tim. All right. Well, but your gut says it's McVeigh. Is that because, like, what brings you to that?
The delay. I thought that they were likely
the delay
to
alone.
Announce. Yeah, the delay. That's
the evidence. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, because in all the interview processes and stuff that I've been involved in as a manager and recruiter, once you'd conducted the final interview with the final candidates, it was pretty quick turnaround. You already, the process had been going for a long period. That's the final bit, and then after that, the selection people discuss in a meeting, and then decide. Yep, there's our person. Give the offer. Go. You don't take 2 weeks to come to that decision. So the only reason for delay is because announcing it has to be has some implications. For her, they could have announced straight away.
True.
And the one who's most impacted would have been McVeigh, because it just so happened we were playing Sydney a week.
I mean, all of them are in. Well, 3 out of the 4 are in finals.
Oh, we're not playing them again.
Campaigns. No, I was about to say are in finals campaigns, but there's a realm where, because I don't know about Adelaide, but Freo, Sydney are all going to be having the week off. The potential week off. So I wonder if there's a.
So unless they're going to delay until after the finals or after all the teams, which I think would
be so obvious, like way too obvious. We would know that it's not going to be.
And that's each team got eliminated, and it was still delayed. So
that's how we find out. We just the puzzle pieces. I mean, that would be innovative. I would respect that. I'm a creative at heart, so I'd be like, hell yeah, I'm here for the puzzle. Take me on the ride. But it would also do my head in because I need to know.
Yeah, so I think McVeigh, he's Andrew Welsh's mate. And he's a Bomber person. Essendon person, so he gets ticks on from at least one
Can I
board
ask
member.
you, I know you're all on board the Herd, but if Herd wasn't in this process, if he was a non-factor, who would you have want out of the three?
Probably not McVeigh. It would probably be Jamie. It's Jamie, is it? Jamie Graham?
Jamie Graham? Yep.
Graham. And, it'd be a toss-up between those two. I don't know enough about them to know, but they seem more qualified than McVeigh in terms of what they've done most recently. And Herd, I think McVeigh and Herd are both qualified, and I think I said a few weeks ago, we don't actually know what their selection criteria are, and so it's anybody's guess. But so my only evidence is the delay this week.
Yep.
If it doesn't get announced this week, well then, then we move on to scenario 2.
Okay, yeah, that's exactly
it's
right.
It's going to be a long delay.
Then the puzzle theory is on. That's what it's from here on out. That's what it's called, the puzzle theory.
So I'm crossing my fingers still that they're trying to work out something behind the scenes so that it can be McVeigh and Herd in some combination, and they've had to go. But as far as I know, there's been no further contact or discussion with Herd, if he's to be believed, and so
I think
if they were doing a tag team, they would have to speak to both of them and say, hey, what do you think about possibility if we were to offer you a different position, would you be interested?
Well, I think I would almost guarantee that Spike would have no problem and would welcome Herd in another role. It's the other way around, whether Herd would consider being
the junior partner.
Part of the it depends how you frame it. I see it as you love the club, you want to help the club, declare that all you want for the club is the best. Well, you have an opportunity to help it in a different way. It may not be the way you want, but you do have an opportunity to help it.
Yeah, look, I think Herd would consider that. They'd have to persuade him that it was real, that it was, and that they'd both have to think it would add value and add to the likelihood of success. But if you would like to think that if he's wanting the club to succeed and someone says, well, look, we don't think you're the right thing, but we like your help there, we think that would help us succeed, you'd like to think that he could put his ego aside and consider that role as an option. But who knows? It's all speculation on our part. The media know nothing. They're speculating just like we are, but making it seem that theirs is based on some.
Exactly.
I know mine is not based on anything other than hunch, gut feel, and reading the tea leaves. So we'll see what happens. But I'll still be crossing my fingers, but my hope is waning on the Herd selection. I think.
Fair enough.
I think, the sponsorship stuff and all that sort of stuff, that's all secondary. That's cream on the cream on the cup, but not how you'd be making the decision. In my view.
Agree with that.
We'll see. Okay.
I agree with that, Tim. Anything else? Any other? Give me a 3, 2, and 1 from the game before you go.
Okay. I think Setters. I love Setters. You know that.
Yep. He earned well and truly earned the 3 votes. Yep.
Probably Sharp. I didn't see the first quarter, but I'll probably go Sharp as my number 2. Oh, maybe Vigo as my number 2. I think Vigo is my number 2, and Pryor I think would be my number 1.
I think I would have done very similar. Very similar. Look at that. 2 role players and a baby giraffe in his infancy of his career. We love to see it.
Look, Pryor, I used to hate Pryor back in his early days at the club. He used to infuriate me. But he turned it around last year, played every game, and has just improved and improved and improved. And he's been rock solid as far as I'm concerned, and so he has a consistent level that he doesn't drop below, and occasionally he spikes up with and today was one of his spike up games. He's in our 23.
Yep.
Setters is in
He's
the 23 currently.
definitely role
what
player,
S23.
guys.
Yeah.
And I said with Setters, provided he gets through uninjured for the remaining 7 games or however many he's played when he came back in, I think he got dropped and then came back, then he deserves another contract. And he's honestly, I think he's slightly exceeded my expectations of his output on the field. So he has remained injury free and is performing at a really high level. So it's a no-brainer for me. Can't get rid of all the senior players. That's ridiculous when you're bringing more young players. So, all right, Tim. Enjoy the week. We'll see what comes of it.
I'll see you on Tuesday or Wednesday when the coaching special happens.
If you say so. Hey, you said Tuesday. I've locked in Tuesday for you.
Yeah, well, Tuesday, yeah. Okay.
All right,
I'll see you Tuesday.
Care. See you then.
Okay.
Gotcha. I should be taking bet. No, I don't even know. I wouldn't even know how to start taking bets, but I should have taken bets. I would have won some money from last week. A few people had bet last week. All right, let's chat to Chris. Quickly, how are you, Chris?
Yeah, I'm all right. It was a better game today compared to last week's, last week's junk game.
Yep.
Yeah, the first quarter, like when we kicked the 2 goals, were a little bit decent, and then just after them, that first quarter, we just I don't know what happened. I thought Kerno would at least kick about 10 goals on us. How Gunston kicked.
Yes.
How Gunston kicked 7 goals against us.
Oh yeah, felt like that.
How many did Kerno end up having? 4 goals or?
That's a really good question. How many did Kerno end up with?
So I know we got another goal in.
Yeah, I think he ended up with the 4. Yeah, 4.
Yeah, got one more goal I think in the last quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. I think I don't quote me on the last goal, but he got 3 in the first. It was looking dicey.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure about the fourth quarter. Like, they piled on a number of goals, didn't they? Like, we were pretty close, weren't we? Like, it wasn't like a big, massive margin after. Yeah. I mean, that's when I got my hopes up high that we were going to, be in this, catch up, just, roll them, just by a little bit, but
miracle. Hoping for a miracle.
Yeah. But it's always like, in our forward 50, we always, have to fight for it so hard. And when we lose it, then they transition, all the way, through the corridor and goal. It's like no, it's like a training drill for them,
Yep.
And how fast they are, I mean, there's a few Sydney players I wouldn't mind having in our team,
I'd have a whole heap of them, Chris.
Yeah, like Nick Blakey,
Yeah.
Heaney, Goulden.
I'd have Papley in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I mean,
he's an idiot, but he'd be our idiot, so it's all good.
Yeah, you need players like that to intimidate, the opposition,
Exactly. It's arguably why we have been shit for so long. We haven't had any. We're not putting the fear in nobody.
Yeah, it's like everyone like just walks all over us,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, what next week? I mean, we should win it next week.
We should. You're right.
Will they be doing it for Merritt's last game?
I think Zach Merritt FC makes a great point. We should be doing it. Well, we should be doing it to win, but we should be doing it more because it's the captain's 200th. So,
I didn't know that.
It should be that, and it should be to win and to go out on a high. It should be for Solly. It should be for the supporters. It should be to excite the new coach even more. It should be to excite opposition players, Artie Jones, potential coming to the club. It should excite any free agents. That's why we should win, all of those reasons.
Yeah.
Zach Merritt, thank you, goodbye, see you later.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think any free agents are gonna come to us.
It's all part of it. It's all part of it. Whether they will, they won't. It's all part about building up that credibility and showing people that there is something at their club building. It just needs a little bit of leadership.
Yeah. I think what was her name before?
Ange?
Yeah. She talked about, say, culture. Remember how I said about culture, like earlier on in the year, like why John Longmire wouldn't put his hand up, to come to Essendon and coach, because just like how the whole culture is at Essendon,
Well, no, he's not coaching at all. He didn't put his hand up for the Carlton job either. So,
but that's because Hurd put his hand up for he wants to coach. Otherwise, I reckon if Hurd didn't put his hand up to want to be coach, I reckon Longmire and Hinkley would have put their hand up, to coach us.
Possibly, we'll never know.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be McVeigh.
You think?
Yeah. I mean, Welsh and McVeigh are best friends.
Oh, so you're saying it's a gift?
Yeah. I mean, just like how
so the process is a non-thing.
Yeah, just like how Solomon took over Brad Scott. Solomon and Welsh, they were best friends as well. I mean, they are, or yeah. It's like get rid of that person, put my best friend in. Type of culture, So
okay. Oh, I think many people will see it like that as well.
Yeah, and the noise will still be the same. Like
the Essendon person will definitely that's what I'm not looking forward to if it is McVeigh, the Essendon person, because even if he got it on merit, that tag will follow him, and that's a bit shit.
Yeah.
And we'll never hear the bloody end of it. We'll just never hear the end of it in the media, opposition fans. Oh. Yeah,
and Hurd won't settle for anything less. He wants the head job. He won't except for say assistants or anything like that. He wants the head role.
He does want the head role. But if he wants to see Essendon rise and he thinks he's a big part of helping that, then he would.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
Yeah. I mean, we got a lot of players out of contract this year. Got 12 out of contract. We got Sarders, El Hooley, Nguyen, Edwards, McMahon, Unwin, they're all out of contract. So, will they get rid of most of them, or or?
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, I mean Perkins. Sure. Yeah, Perkins is out of contract as well.
He is.
I think they're moving on Gresham because he hasn't played enough AFL games to trigger the clause in his contract.
Yep.
Yeah. So, will we be sort of a really young team next year?
Yep. Yes.
And how much more longer is that going to take us? To get up, the ladder.
That's why you can't get rid of all the senior players, even some of the underperforming ones, because the inexperience in the end ends up hurting the kids more than, helping them. So you can't just get rid of them all. So
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
we'll wait and see. I think there's going to be another significant clean out, but I don't think. Yeah, we'll wait and see.
yeah, I feel like really let down this year because, like, you know, the AFL, you know, introduced a top 10. You know, I thought we were in a chance to, you know, be in like finals. You know, I thought the lowest would be is 10th.
Yeah, look, you weren't alone. There were a lot of people who
like,
thought that.
And like all the senior players this year, they weren't all injured compared to last year, were they?
They weren't like not all of them, but they all have
Yeah.
been out with injuries. Caldwell, 2 meter Peter, obviously Darcy Parish. The only ones really, like we have had a few. Redmond even has been out. So yeah, but they've been less soft tissue-ish. Obviously Ridley. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just feels like a huge like waste of the year, you know, because like you'd think like, oh, you know, top 10, you're sort of like they'll have like a little bit more incentive, you know, to, you know, play, you know, to reach sort of like a final, you know.
If only it was as easy as that, Chris, would be great. The list demographic
Well, you know,
is...
Carlton, like I keep saying, you know, Carlton did it, you know, once they got rid of Voss, you know, something just...
They also are the 5th most experienced list in the competition, 8th oldest. So we were always second last and last for those metrics. So they have a lot of experience on their list.
They also got young players as well.
They have some young players, but their core older players are much better than ours. They've got Brownlow medalist, a Coleman medalist. They've got arguably better senior players and more experience. So,
yeah, I mean, our senior players. How long have our senior players been with us? And they're not really like, you know, damaging type players, you know. Besides Merritt.
We'll see what they can do if a Josh Fraser comes in. New coach, we'll see what happens. You never know. We just don't know. No one can predict the future.
And I called it last week that at the end of the season, remember, for our new coach. Last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, last week.
I don't remember. I speak to a lot. I speak to a lot of people during the week. I don't remember specifics.
Yeah, last week on Fan Cams, I said at the end of the season, like, you know, they'll announce our new coach because pretty much we got nothing really to play for, you know.
Oh, so you're saying it's going to be after the Port game? So not this week, next week? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There's nothing really to play for, you know, except for, you know, trying to win, which, you know, I want.
Yeah, I do too. All right, Chris, we'll see what happens. See if you're right or not, if it's this week or next.
Yep. Okay.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Bye. All right, let's bring it home with the one and only Noel. How are you, King?
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you
doing? Oh, well, but you're in the finals. We're in the finals. We're in the finals. I didn't give a shit about today's game. We're in the finals, dude. BFL.
I know. Can't believe I get to go to I get to potentially go to a winning final, potentially.
Yeah. Knowing the AFL, they'll send us into state and fuck us all over.
Oh, they better not. Wow. I wonder who are we going to play? Because it depends on who wins the wild card, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure how the final system works yet.
I'm pretty sure somebody texted it to me that the wild card plays next week, which means we will have a week. No, the VFL have one more week of their round, I believe. I think. No, it's the wild card. The season's over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see, because somebody did specifically text it to me.
Yeah, because I wasn't too sure. Because we finished 5th. We're always going to finish 5th, unfortunately.
Oh, here we go. The wild card finals is the 22nd and the 23rd, which is next weekend. Yep.
Yeah, but who play each other in that? So 9
So
places.
the teams finishing 7th to 10th to compete to secure the final 2 spots in the top 8. So 7th will play 10th and 8th plays 9th, and the top 6 teams will enjoy the bye. So we will have a bye.
You. So that gives him a chance to play Gresham in the last game against Port. Give him a game. He deserves a game.
They could play any of the VFL players. Sardis could play any of them.
Yeah, they could play a lot
but
of them. Because that gives them a game, a warm-up game before the final, so they don't get their week off.
Unless the rest is good, unless you want to rest them.
Yeah, well, that will come down to the doctors and the fitness, I guess, and they can work out who's fit and who's not. But I think Gresham deserves at least one game, a farewell game, because he's worked his butt off. But Tyler Sellers, can we put him on our supplementary list next year?
I know, right?
He'd be playing now if he was on our list.
He would.
He would be in the side.
Lock that in. Yeah, he would. He absolutely would be playing. There is not a doubt in my mind. If he was on the list, and I watched this guy all preseason, and I tell you what, the first thing I thought throughout preseason, because he was there, it was like Boston Dowling. He was at most of the preseason training sessions. And I thought I'd be scared to walk down a dark alley and see that guy. That's how imposing he is on the field. He's not polished. He can have a brain fade or two, but I tell you what, he'd probably be playing in our team if it was on the list.
But the amount of times you see him go in and just to break the pack up, just to go through. I'm going to try and go for the mark. I'm going to break the pack up, and he had a really good last 4 or 5 weeks too. He's been consistent, really consistent. Yep. So Boston Dowling had an up and down game, but he was still okay. Blackiston had 38 hit outs and had a very good game. Blackiston has proven that he's not good. He's too good for the VFL. But that level is still, for AFL, is still not quite there yet. And that's the problem with a lot of those blokes. They become fringe players. They're just on the level. But with a VFL final is a bit like a low-grade AFL game in standard. So the standard goes up, so you can find out whether or not they're capable to play at AFL level when you see them performing in the finals. But look, Kalapakis, I like the look of him. He's got a little bit going for him too. Number 52.
Kalapakis has had a terrific month. I don't think it was his best game yesterday, but he's a big reason why we've had a really good month and won 6 in a row. So, I think he's going to be intercepting. Even he could potentially. You probably want to see a bit more, but the intercepting got that intercepting.
He'll need another year, but we should keep Ewan on the list for a while. Maybe we can keep him on a sub list for another year. I think we can give him 2 years on the sub list, but I'll be getting Sellers and Dowling on that list because we don't need I'm not sure we need the ruckman for the number 1 draft pick. It's like, we know how lucky we are with picking up players from the draft. And have a look, the number 1 draft has not been the overall success anyway. There hasn't been many number 1 draft picks who've been superstars. Not many have really kicked on, have been hugely successful. But they've been serviceable and been reasonable.
There's two that are going to buck that trend at West Coast, I tell you what, man.
Yeah.
They are going to be stars. Harley Reid. It's going to be a Harley Reid and Sullivan Roby off for the Brownlow in years to come. Yeah.
Another former Essendon reject played well against us today in these for the Swans in Cootie. He was our reserves captain for our reserves in 2023. Billy Cootie. They had a number of players. Billy Cootie, yeah. But they had a number of players there I had never heard of from the Swans. Green was another kid, mammothly big boy.
Yep.
And the young fella who kicked a goal early in the game. But, we call it a nice loss. What is it with first?
Oh, did we flick back? I thought we were talking about the VFL. You just flicked me back to the seniors with no notice. Yes.
But I'm saying it. I went to the AFLW, and again the same thing happened. An 8-goal burst in the first quarter. Bang, 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 bang. Brisbane's all over us, and we came back, and then we still lost by 8 goals.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they But coach was experimenting, and she was playing and we had 3 debutantes, and she experimented with a couple of players playing in different positions early on.
Okay.
But yeah, bit rusty. But I think in the VFL game, the Swans came out very hard early, and maybe they spent all their petrol tickets by 3/4 time.
They were very physical, very vocal early, and they just hung in. Our boys, they hung in and they just wore a lot of the.
We're never that far behind. We're just there within reach. Now Ben Mackay, people give him a hard time. Ben Mackay didn't start, but his opponent got 1 goal, and that goal was from the dodgiest free kick we've ever played in the history of the game. When you had got 3 blokes coming at you and you walk through the goals, and they call that deliberate. And that's the only goal he got. That was the first goal.
People around us going crazy.
Going by the Swans game, the other one that we played. Were you there
today?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I was.
Did you see me on the big screen?
I didn't. I was getting my chips. Sorry, no.
3.5 minutes, right? 3.5 minutes on the big screen, dancing to Dolly Parton.
You were. Oh my God! I can't believe I've been around for this whole year. I
Missed it.
Damn.
They're playing Dolly Parton, and I just got up, started swinging around and dancing around. And you're on the screen, mate. You're on the screen, mate. So I kept going, and they kept me on the screen for the whole song. So I had my moment in the sun. Normally they put you on the screen and they say 2 seconds and move on to someone else. But yeah. There wasn't that many people in the crowd, so that was my.
That's true. Probably had to find someone.
Yeah, that was my big moment. Yeah, but I had 3 games of footy this weekend. VFL,
you did well.
AFLW. If I could get to the hangar, I would have got to that one too, because the VFL girls had a win as well at the hangar.
Oh, did they? Okay, yep.
Yeah, apparently they had a friend of mine. She's a big follower of them. So she gets back to 8 and always has a go at me and goes, you don't go to the VFL, go. So something get to everything. I don't have a car. I can't just
I think you did very well to get to the 3. I think you and Jade you'll have to do a tee off, see how many.
Hello to Jeremy. I met Jeremy at VFL.
To Jez, yep.
And also I met Ray. Met Blackiston's dad.
Yep.
The other week, a lovely guy. We had a great old chat, and he was telling me about how he's travelled from WA every week to go and see, and it was only the 2nd or 3rd win he'd seen his son playing in. So that was cool. But that was fun. But McVeigh's going to be coach. Is that what everyone's saying?
It is. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I believe it's down to 2 now. I think the other 2 have been discounted as not possible. I think from what I heard, the coaching was down to just Hurd and McVeigh.
Is that from the Trust Me Bro University, or would you?
We believe everything the media tells us. But isn't it great that they're teasing Caroline Wilson? They've got a little bait out and she's biting, but she can't get to find out what the answers are.
Let's not exclusively finger point at her. It is all of them.
All of them, yeah.
Tom Morris is floundering just as much, please.
Isn't it great to see him? Like little dead fish, wheeling around.
It's beautiful.
But there was a thing, AW thing. They asked her again whether she was had any idea. No, Tom Morris, no idea. And I like it because keeping a secret in a football club is pretty hard to do. There's always someone leaking something, isn't there?
Yeah.
This has been good game from the Bombers. About the end of this, and then we've done all year. Keep a secret.
But, I posted. I'll never understand social media and sports football supporters. I posted something online on social media saying that the lack of leaks have been impressive for a club that's historically leaked like a sieve.
Yeah.
And I just said that I was enjoying the media, just as you just pointed out, Noel, that are floundering at the moment. Yeah. And again, I've said this in the past, but I don't check Facebook comments anymore. So if you comment on Facebook, I want to reiterate, I probably haven't replied to the comment or engaged with you, even if you've asked a question, because I'm actively not checking it for my own mental health. So please, I profusely apologize for that. It is not I'm not ghosting you on purpose. It's just for my own sanity. But somebody screenshotted a comment that somebody made on that video and sent it to me, of someone left a comment on that video saying, "What do you mean? The board is leaking like a sieve," or something like that. And I thought, am I in a parallel universe? What is, like?
It's called selective hearing. As a lot of blokes suffer from it, apparently. Yeah. We only hear what we want the missus to tell us, and then we go.
No, what? Oh, anyway.
But we can celebrate the VFL. It's great. I would have liked to have got the double chance, because there's always that worry. You could have won 6 in a row. There's that. It's always looming that the next loss is just around the corner. Mm-hmm. And we struggled a bit today. Considering, and really the Swans missed a lot of shots for goal late in that last quarter that, could have put us away in the VFL.
Well, I feel, you mean the VFL. Yeah, sorry, I got confused as to which game you're talking about.
Yeah, I should put up, we're talking VFL now. I'll put this, someone said I should put a
they did, yeah.
So we're talking VFL. When I put the sticky note up, we're talking VFL.
Yeah.
Because that's the game one we really care about, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
It just felt so nice. It felt so nice, Noel, just being in that environment and feeling joy at the football, the spark,
Yeah.
the flurry.
Kids were singing the song and people were, there was smiles and, it was.
And it was loud. It was so loud. It was pulsating. The crowd was excited and energetic, and you could just feel everyone is so deprived of football joy this year.
But that's the thing with the VFL, also has that family community atmosphere about the game anyway. You go there, I'm starting to see the same faces there every time I turn up. There's people I've seen, a couple of guys I've run into before, and, people I've spotted too. There was a lady I spoke to a couple of weeks ago, and there she was again. So, it's that community. It's that community.
And I was sitting near the players. Every single senior player was there except a couple of notable absentees. I'm not going to say their names because you'll be able to pick it, no doubt. But you should have seen them. They were on their feet. Huss was doing these, holding the ball on his feet. Redmond was on his feet doing this, like slapping the chest. Like Dyson Sharp was like up on his feet. It was just, it was amazing. Mardo was when we missed a goal. It was,
It was interesting in the cafe across the road. Sitting in that cafe was Solomon, Roby, Farrow, Redmond, and Sharp, and someone called Mark McVeigh, strangely enough, all just sitting together. So maybe they were introducing him to the new coach.
No, they weren't. Stop spreading lies. Stop spreading lies. That was false information. Though Mark McVeigh, I looked to my right as soon as I got there, and Mark McVeigh was just sitting there nonchalantly with Dean Cox sitting behind him, just scrolling on his phone. And I thought to myself, at the moment, I don't know, I would want to be being very inconspicuous. But he was just out there in the open. I would have been wearing a hat, a beanie, like a collar, a hood.
But he was there. He's getting paid a bit.
He's got some swagger. He really has, and I just don't give a shit. No fucks given, I reckon, about him. And I do respect that. I do.
Yeah, he's there for the Swans. He was there to as part of his job. He just so happens that he's also good mates with Solomon and others at the footy club. There's nothing wrong with that. That happens all the time. Wasn't there a big song and dance about Merritt being down at North Melbourne kicking a footy with some bloke from Brisbane, and then there was some talk that he was hanging out here, and the media jump on board, and so try to find something, that little spark that they can write 100,000 words on to make up a story. I remember years ago the Danahers and Monkhorst were both window cleaners. They used to do office buildings, and they were both in the same street, working on the same building with their cars there, with their window cleaning business. And Essendon Collingwood just happened to be playing on that weekend. And what did the media go? Oh, media jumped on that. They're both washing windows. Who's going to come away cleaning up? Who's going to clean up at the end of the game? Yeah, anything you can find, a microcosm of thing you can write to get a story. That was it.
And we give them plenty. But this is a great point, Bombers Rockets fan. You need a strong VFL team to have a strong AFL team. So anyone talking the VFL success down, you're crazy. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Exactly
some people might see it as being over dramatizing and kind of poo-pooing the people getting excited about the VFL success. But I think those people need to go out and watch the moon and pray to the moon and see the sun come up, because honestly, how much are you not inviting joy into your life if you can't derive some sort of pleasure from the joy that the VFL is bringing? And secondly, your Bombers Rockets fan has nailed it. It is the baseline of needing to have a good AFL team, because that is where your players fight for the positions and fight for form and learn their craft.
You learn strategies, you learn game plans, you practice things you doing on the training track in a game scenario while playing in the VFL. All those things come to part of that, and you're mixing with blokes from different levels of ability as well. So you learn from them. You're playing on a guy who's played 100 games and is just coming back from an injury, and you're playing on him, and he's going to teach you this, or he's going to teach you where to run. Yeah, the VFL has a lot of important things to do, but it doesn't get treated properly by the AFL. It's treated poorly. Again, there's plenty of times when they could have made it it could have been the pre-game. Could have had it as a curtain raiser. There's been several opportunities where that could have been the case. And give those boys a chance to play in front of a big crowd as well.
But I also think they should put the women as the curtain raiders more often as well, because that is what will help it grow the game. People don't feel as inclined to go to the women's games, but if you put them as curtain raisers before the actual games, people will go a little bit earlier to catch it and watch it because they're going anyway. So
I think they've got a couple of games scheduled for a Marble for the ladies this year. I think they've got a couple of games they're going to be playing at Marble, so that'll be good. Because I remember when Essendon Hawthorn played their first game at Marble, it was a huge crowd there. People were, it was new and it was something different, and we're all starting a bit of footy, so that plays a bit of a part. But it created an interest, and there's tons. I'll tell you, you go. There's tons of girls there with their badges and their scarves and their colours, and the kids are right into it. It's terrific. And so that and VFL should be getting promoted and pushed and promoted. I know you can't do a curtain raiser if you're playing Coburg or Werribee or that, but if you're playing a AFL standard team on the same weekend. Because I think Sydney complained as well. They've got one game here and you've got one game there. How do you manage all that? And I think it was one time we were playing in Queensland and we were playing in Melbourne.
Yep.
One side's playing in Queensland, the other one's playing in Melbourne. How do you can't work, can't coordinate things properly if you, but who knows? Now they've got Amy Gale, Bomber Rockets fan. Is considered by the football club, or certainly was last year, as being the best kick in the club, not male or female, the best user of the football. She was voted that, I think it was last year. She's a fantastic player, right? And Madeline Gay was another one starred in the back line. We missed her a bit. There's quite a few. Mia Bush is my favourite. She's not much. She doesn't get a lot of the footy, but God, she's good looking. Oh man, she's an attractive girl, and her parents are lovely. I met them. I met Bonnie Too Good's mum and dad as well. Lovely people. Yeah, and so yeah, as I said, you go to AFLW, go to VFL, be part of the community, because that's what it is. It's community. Now let's talk about that other game. Let's talk about the other game, Vigo. Oh, what a game from Vigo.
Okay. Yes, very good.
The other game, yeah. Let's go on the other game. Vigo, that goal he kicked was great. But,
first goal.
Oh, but what about the goal from Pryor? That really was a team lifter, that goal.
Yeah, his reaction was a beauty.
Oh, he's going like this. And then Centerfield kicked one from down.
Yep.
So we just have to start well. That seems to be the problem. We just don't start well.
This habit we've made, no good. No bueno.
Yeah. I just don't know what the what are they not saying the right thing to fire them up, or they're going out too relaxed? Because we make all a song and dance with fireworks and rock and roll music, and it's almost like
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it needs to change, or else the catch-up game is not sustainable.
Yeah, because you can't allow a side, like a side like the Swans to get 4 or 5 goals in front of you. You might be able to come back against a lower team, but you can't be doing that.
Exactly.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a bit of nerves, or they're not switched on. But they were talking in the first quarter that this is going to be a 100-point blowout.
Yeah, I thought so too. Yep.
And I thought, Kerno's going to get 8, and it's going to be a big day for him. But look, we did well. We kept Papley very quiet. That was nice to see. Shut that little turd up for the week. That was great. I'm a bit like Solution. I'm not a fan of the Swans.
Yep, I think Tim said that, but I'm sure Solution doesn't like him too. To add a guess.
Because climbing up the goalpost is one thing that annoyed, that pissed me off. That when Mampy climbed up the goalpost. I still to this day believe that cost us a finals win.
Yeah, because it was Myers who was going to kick that goal, and he would have kicked it. And I still have visions of Jake Stringer arguing with the umpire, saying he's shaking up the post, he's climbing the post, and
Connor McKenna, a guy from Ireland who played the game for 5 minutes, was even asking the question about why is he allowed to do that? Is he allowed to do that from an Irish accent? Is he allowed to do that? So even he was to play. But when you look at the result of that game, we lose that game, we finish 8th. Had we won, we'd finished 7th. That's how close it was. We finished 8th, and we get to play the premiers from last year at their home ground. Had we finished 7th, we would have gone to Sydney and played the Giants, a slightly better chance of winning that game. Not saying that we wouldn't, but we had a better chance of knocking off the Giants than we did playing against the previous year's premiers. And it all came down to that one.
It's just the point of it. It just was wrong.
Yeah, but of course, and we've got Gary Rowan on our coaching panel. He was never very popular with Essendon supporters, Mr. Gary Rowan. No,
he was a good player on his day. He was inconsistent, but he was a very good player on his day.
He seemed to like playing against us, though.
Yeah, he did. He saved some of his best work for the Essendon Football Club, that's for sure.
I can't remember who it was. It was a guy. I went to Sydney. Used to go to Sydney games quite a lot when we played up in Sydney. You make a weekend out of it. And there was one game where Alessio kicked the winning goal on a siren. There's been a couple of times where we knocked them off. But we've always had, some challenging matches against that mob. I don't hate them as much as other teams, but not a fan. Had the fun tram driver making jokes to the Swan supporters on the way home. He's got a YouTube channel, apparently, the happiest tram driver in Melbourne or something. But he was cracking jokes. He's a Bomber supporter. The other bad thing, don't want to get political, but I'm going to.
Okay.
The current Premier, the previous Premier, and Mr. Andrews have all been Essendon supporters. No wonder the state and our club is in shit. There's 3,000
you cracked yourself up at your own joke. Oh no, we love you. All right, but on that note, she's out. Enjoy the week. We'll see. Do you think before I left you go, is it this week or next week we're getting the new coach?
I'm on the same boat there. I think it's sometime this week. We've played Sydney now. We've got that out of the way. And I reckon that's probably like most people think McVeigh's got the job. But I said right from the start that Hurd had the job. So I can't see why they would wait any longer if it's not James Hurd. They would have called it by now. I think if it was James Hurd, they would have called it by now.
Unless it's just a huge big gotcha and James Hurd is the coach. Who knows?
Because they're just keeping the media on the little
screen.
So look, your guess is as good as mine. But whoever it is, we need a development coach behind them. We need someone who can help us with the
several development coaches.
He can sell all the tickets and get all the memberships and sell all the media crap, right? But we need someone who can do the rest of it. And we've got some potential there. So now we've just got to develop it and build it and see how we go. Maybe Toby Green could be a handy pickup.
I don't think Toby Green is not coming to Essendon. Put that dream to bed, people. Toby Green, coach or no coach, not coming to Essendon.
And what about Lockie from Brisbane?
Who? Lockie Neal? No.
Yeah. All I'd say is, Mr. Pryor, put your girlfriend away, mate. If he turns up at the football club, I'd be locking that girlfriend away.
All right, Noel. We'll leave it there. We'll see you next week. We're on the home stretch. Take care. Have a good week.
A win next week. It will be a win next week. We want that win. It'd be great for the club. It'd be great for us. Did you get your letter, by the way, for our depression? Seeing Geelong were giving out contracts for their problems. Maybe we should have got one for all the Essendon supporters who've had to suffer this season. It's just been a tough one. Anyway, let's hope we can have a win. I don't care. A win at the end of the year. A win is always going to be a good way to go into the next season, motivate you, and prepare you for. Right. So,
absolutely. Yeah. All right, Noel. Take it easy. Have a good week. We'll talk to you soon.
Take it easy. Enjoy.
All right, everyone. It's been a good one. We've got one to go. Enjoy the week. It's time for bed. Enjoy the week, and whatever happens, we will wait and see. And whatever else, few little things organised for the week. So we'll see when they drop. But otherwise, thank you so much for being here. Take care. Good night.